Good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome inside Mercer Stadium, home of Fort Bend ISD football. I'm Roger Smith, and this is Vype, FortBend.com, and today we have the Dulles Vikings taking on the George Ranch Longhorns in a game that will do a lot for the Vikings if they can get the victory. Right now, as far as the playoff picture is concerned in District 26A, they are on the outside looking in. So what they need to do is get a win today and move even with Travis in 5th place in district with a record of 3-3. By the way, the Tigers are not playing this week. We're going to bring you the Countdown to Kickoff show and visit with both head coaches. Plus, we'll have the new popular sensation sweeping the nation, trash-talking cheerleaders. This exclusive Vype FortBend.com presentation of Fort Bend County High School football is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity Mobile, the best-kept secret in wireless. By First Tire and Auto. By Next Level Urgent Care. By Archer Volkswagen. By the Needville Insurance Agency. And Equitable Advisors. It's never too early, nor is it ever too late to get with Nick Arevalo and Equitable Advisors, because they can create for you a smooth, soft landing into a wonderfully comfortable retirement. Check out Equitable Advisors. We'll be back with Nick Cavallo, head coach of the George Ranch Longhorns, when we return here on VypeFortBend.com. Remember, we're going to have 2 games today, and the second of them will be Ridgepoint taking on Austin in a nightcap, and that Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show will come your way at 5:40 p.m. We'll be right back with Coach Cavallo. Thanks for being with us.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community, open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugar Land, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From ow to wow, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent Care.
Good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show. And I really like these matinee games when the weather is perfect, which it is today. Both teams warming up. The George Ranch Longhorns visiting Dulles, and it's time to talk to the Longhorns head coach, Nick Cavallo. Coach, I want you to tell me what you've seen in Dulles. It's kind of an evolution over a year where they were running a very unusual offense, an older type of offense, and now they seem completely multiple. What's it been like preparing for them?
Definitely, they run that wing tee, mixture of a little wing tee, slot tee, just old school running the football, trying to trap and kick out offensively, and then they still merge some of their spread stuff. So, the spread stuff, since, a lot of the teams in the district do that, we prepare for that weeks in and weeks out. It's this other part of their offense that, you really got to sit in and, not just the varsity kids, but trying to get the scout team to replicate that offense is tough. But I feel that, this week we had a really good week of practice. Kids were able to replicate it, and, so just ready to go this morning.
The playoff picture in District 26A just seems to be changing, not just week by week, but day by day. And I know at this point in the season, most coaches will say, well, we have 3 one-game seasons left, or if they have an open week, it would be 2 one-game seasons left. How do you look at the race, knowing that Dulles is in a position to creep up real close to you if they happen to get the win today?
Yeah, definitely. Our motto all year is just one-game seasons. So we approach that every week. But also we talk about it. And what we've talked about really this whole second half of the season is win and we're in. So we continue to hold our destiny, and as long as we are able to win week in week, it doesn't matter what the other teams around us do. So that's, best case scenario and what we focused on right now. But definitely, like you talked about it, you still really have 4 teams that are still in the hunt for the last 2 spots that can shake out really any way.
I know what you mean, and last night we talked to Bobby Darnell of Clements, and they are in the same situation as you. They take care of their business. They don't need to count on anybody else doing anything in order to help them get into those top 4 spots. So is there any particular key or maybe 2 keys to the game that your team has to accomplish to win today.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you first talk about us on defense, we have to be able to get lined up to the different formations and just recognize it. We feel if we can get lined up and recognize it, we put ourselves in position to win. And then also just both sides really be able to run the football and then stop the run. We do those 2 things, feel that we have a chance to win the football game.
All right, that's Nick Cavallo, head coach of the George Ranch Longhorns. Thanks for being with us on the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show.
Yes, sir. As always, thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back with trash-talking cheerleaders and continue with the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show on VypeFortBend.com. We are your broadcast home for Fort Bend County sports. Glad you're with us. And don't forget that tonight we will have another ball game. It'll be Ridge Point taking on Austin. The Panthers, unbeaten in District 26A, and Austin looking to shock the world, will come your way with the 5:40 p.m. version of the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show. Patrick Kinnick will have the play-by-play of this one, and we still have the visit with Shane Bird, the Vikings head coach. His team is primed and ready. Opportunity is knocking for the Vikings. We'll be right back.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's discuss a very real existential threat to internet speed. It's a big one. Ready? T-Mobile Home Internet. It lags. Ugh. Now, what is lag? Lag is a delay in data being transmitted across the internet. For example, you're hitting that hot drop, the parachute cuts out, you've got an unsuspecting bot in your sights, and lag! You were actually eliminated 10 seconds ago. Nobody deserves that. So stop letting T-Mobile Home Internet ruin everything and switch to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Get an amazing value on Xfinity Internet with unlimited data included. Switch for $55 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract required and no equipment fees for 24 months. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 10/17/22. Restrictions apply. New fast internet and xFi Complete customers only. xFi Gateway required. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
We're the Dulles Cheerleaders, and here's our message to the Longhorns. You're our beast of burden today, and tonight, beef is what's for dinner. Our Vikings never give up the ship or walk the plank, but cattle always just walk off the flatbed trailer. They just don't know any better. Coach Bird is next on the Countdown to Kickoff show. Go Vikings!
Equitable Advisors financial professionals know the path to a fulfilling future begins with getting to know who you are and what matters to you most. They work with people as individuals. That's how they deliver on their mission, just like Nick Arevalo, CFP. Talk to your local Equitable Advisor financial professional at 281-712-8777 or visit nickarevalo.com. That's NICKAREVALO.com. Together, you and my friend Nick can plan a future that reflects all of who you are. Equitable Advisors, LLC, New York, New York, member FINRA SIPC, investment advisory through Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. CFP is a certification mark owned by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, Incorporated. This mark is awarded to individuals who successfully complete the CFP Board's initial and ongoing certification requirements. He'll do the same for you.
Gate and traffic, be sure and thank them.
Hey, Fort Bend County fans, this is Bradley Stavanaugh with Needville Insurance Agency.
Bradley is my insurance man. He can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every year on your car insurance, home insurance, or flood insurance, or all three like he did for me. And Bradley, you are as Fort Bend County as they come, right?
That's right, 4th generation here in the Needville area in Fort Bend County, taking care of folks over here for over 100 years here in Fort Bend County.
You can give him a call, you can go online, or he'll even come see you at the Needville Insurance Agency. Give him the number, Bradley.
979-793-7411.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show. And now it's time to talk with the coach of the home team, Shane Bird, and his Dulles Vikings. Here, opportunity knocking. If you win this game, Coach, it would be huge. You would be in the playoff picture or just right on the bubble of it, right?
That's correct, yeah. And our guys know that, and I've had a great week of practice. And We had a good open week last week. Got some rest, some guys healthy, and so we're excited about today.
I'm a little intrigued about George Ranch because they seem like that little girl with the curl in the nursery rhymes. When they're good, they're very, very good, and when they're bad, they're horrid. I think that's the way the poem went. And did you only look at specific game tape of George Ranch in their good performances before this one?
No, man, we go back and watch all their games, break them down, and just do the most research we can about them, and got a good feel for how we're going to attack them, and they're talented. They're good on offense and defense, and so we got our work cut out for us. But our guys know what's on the line here and are ready to get after it.
I'll tell you what, it's been very exciting watching your team play offense this year. You told us you were going to be more multiple, and it certainly has been that. Is there any particular part of your attack that you really kind of have as a favorite and that you think your guys on offense do best?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to run the football. That's first and foremost with what we do. Our offensive staff believes in that. Our team believes in that. We just got to hang on the football for us, clean things up. Our offensive line's really coming along. It's physical. Our tight ends are physical. And then that sets up our play-action pass. And we're getting better at hitting guys downfield, making catches. And, we're going to run the football first and foremost.
There are a lot of teams that are going to be thanking the good Lord. They've had health and so forth and haven't had to bring up some inexperienced players. Every team experiences that to a degree. Are there some guys that you have in your starting lineups today that you really would not have thought would have been in that situation back in August, who are really making some good contributions for you?
I don't think so right now. We've really have done pretty well at staying overall healthy. We've been banged up in some areas, as everybody is, but no, I think for the most part, it's just a matter of our offense just growing and developing and getting better each and every game. Our defense, we knew was going to be stout coming in. Our linebackers, Trey, Richard, and Justin Afoma, and our back end guys with Carter and Gio and Jarrett. And our up front guys have really done a great job up on the defensive line, TJ, and getting pressure and creating some havoc, for opposing offenses. So, but no, I think we're just trying to get better every game,
All right. Thank you, Coach Shane Bird. I think Saturday afternoons, well, mornings is when the game starts, but they tend to be good for you. I think you defeated Bush in a Saturday game, and so maybe Saturday will be good for you today as well.
We're definitely hoping so. It's a beautiful morning. Thank you all for all you do and broadcasting our games. And, man, let's get going. Go Vikes.
All right. And please text me Astro score updates during the nightcap between Ridgepoint and Austin. Okay. We'll be back. That's the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show. We'll be back right after this. Patrick will have the play-by-play for you from here at Mercer Stadium.
There is nothing spooky about these spectacular specials at First Tire and Automotive. Save $50 off 2 tires and $100 off 4 tires with the purchase of a premium installation package. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Cannot be combined with any other offers. And if your battery seems to be ghosting you, save 15% on AC Delco batteries. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for details and to book your appointment today. First Tire and Automotive with 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. firsttireandauto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately, like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community, open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugarland, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From ow to wow, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, OfficeMax, and OfficeDepot.com.
All right, everybody, welcome to Mercer Stadium and a glorious day for football. Roger Smith along with Patrick Kinnick. Patrick, you'll be bringing us the play-by-play. And the Dulles offense 1 year ago was just so predictable. They had a new offense, and it was, you kind of knew what they were going to do. One of 4, 5, maybe 6 plays that they ran a lot. Now they're much more multiple.
And I think that's paying off for them. They've having a fairly successful season. They're still in the playoff hunt.
Won the toss, and they'll defer the second half.
Dulles wins the
George
toss.
Rice will receive at this end. Good luck, gentlemen. Have a safe ball game.
Dulles wins the toss. They defer.
We are pleased to welcome you today.
And it was good to hear the microphone working again.
Yes, that has been one of the best things about week number 9. This is week 9, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And so we're very close to resolving that playoff picture you talked about.
Yeah.
So we have the Vikings, who are at 2-3 in district games right now. Travis is off this week. So if Dulles gets the win today, they improve to 3-3 and move into a 5th place tie with Travis, and they would only be 1 half game behind the George Ranch Longhorns, who are at 4-2. But if Dulles gives them loss number 3, then
you got a
Dulles
log
will,
jam.
yeah, it will be a log jam. But George Ranch is trying to achieve what Clements had last night when we talked about it on their game. Against Bush. Clements controls its destiny. They don't have to count on other teams to lose. They'll be fine as long as they take care of business. And George Ranch, if they get the win today, can control its destiny the rest of the way.
Yeah, so they're in a very similar situation as the Rangers were last night, and Dulles is trying to hang on and try to end the season strong and possibly create that playoff berth. They will be kicking with the wind at their back, a typical wind here at Mercer Stadium, coming from south to north, right to left, and they're going to be kicking it off. It's going to be Coots kicking it off, Tim Coots, number 18. And Roger, after the kickoff, I'm going to let you describe what the opponents are wearing today.
Dulles is in the red jerseys with white letters and numerals outlined in navy blue, and the red helmets and the navy blue pants.
He's got that one under the way. Here's the kick from Coots. It's going to be into the end zone and not received. Good idea there, as it was in the end zone. Randall let it go. What about George Ranch? What are they wearing today?
They are wearing the black pants, even though they're really their main color is maroon. So black pants, black helmets with maroon designs, and also black numbers on the white jerseys. So many 21st century teams whose main color is not black wear a lot of black anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works. There's something about that, like it's a special thing to wear the different uniforms, and Drinkard will bring his team out to the line of scrimmage, which is the 25-yard line. George Ranch trying to solidify themselves in the playoffs. It could be a straight run. Drinkard to the right, and he gets to the 27-yard line, 28, where he's attacked by about 3 or 4 Vikings. 3-yard gain on first down. It was simply a snap and a run for Drinkard to the right side.
Justin Ofoma made that first tackle, and Coach Bird said that he can really count on Ofoma. He's a very active linebacker, and he just, if there's a tackle to be made, about half the time he's in on it.
He's the guy they count on, and now we have shotgun formation again. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Drinkard gets his snap. Same play, but this time he's going to stop and throw or try to throw, but the pressure's getting to him. He has to scramble. Ball comes out. It's on the ground. Who's got it? Well, the Vikings look like they had it, and they do. Somebody from behind was able to get the hand in on the ball, and it's shot out of the arms of Drinkard, and the red jersey Vikings swarmed the ball, and they got the first turnover of the game. Just what they needed.
I'm not going to use that expression that people use and have for decades but shouldn't. They say he was carrying it like a loaf of bread. Nobody carries a loaf of bread that way because you'll smash it and your wife will yell at you when you get home. But he was carrying it with one hand away from his body, very careless. And that's just, it's sometimes a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, speaking of bread, that recipe did not turn out for him. Here are the Vikings now, just what they needed to get off to a good start. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, pistol formation, hand off, up to the right side. It's going to be a good gain for Hodges. He'll have about 5 yards on the first play from scrimmage. He got the handoff from Bird.
Viking ball carrier Cole Hodges.
Always have enjoyed watching him run the ball. He runs hard and seems to always be positive with his play. Second down and 5 for the Vikings.
And we have agreed that he seems like he would be an Iowa Hawkeyes running back.
Yeah.
He just fits the mold, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Bird handing it off to Hodges again. Left side this time, finds a gap inside the 20, inside the 15. Close to the 14-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Vikings. Your first chance to tell us what you think about when we hear first down.
You know, they should think of First Tire and Automotive. For all their car care needs, check them out at firsttireandauto.com. 4 great Fort Bend County locations.
And that's the initial first down of the game for the Vikings. And they come up now at the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Going to be Hodges again, right side, trying to find some room. This time, no doing. He'll lose a yard. Good job of the George Ranch left side to get on that one.
By the way, I hope we don't hear from him too often because you don't want a penalty-filled game. But our referee today is Duffy Mapes, M-A-P-E-S, Duffy Mapes. Duffy Mapes,
D-U-F-F-Y. Wonder how he got that name. It has to be a nickname.
Maybe he's a lousy golfer. You know, if you're a duffer, you're a lousy golfer.
Second down and 11. Bird. Fake. Oh, he hands it off to Hodges again. Right side. He's got a lot of tough room over there again. He's able to get that 1 yard back, and that's it. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Vikings as one of the George Ranch defenders has to come off the field with no helmet. That's Bishop. Bishop had his helmet come off on the tackle, and he had to come out for one play.
3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10 for the Vikings. They got that first down, and now they're struggling here, hitting a wall here at the 14-yard line. They're going to see what they can do on this big play. Of course, George Ranch Longhorns are trying to stifle this opportunity for him. Bird now waits in his shotgun formation. He's straight back to pass. To the right side, he's got his receiver open. He had it, then he bobbled it and dropped it. So it was an incomplete pass from Ross. Camden Ross had it. He took about a step or two, and he must have been bobbling the whole way because the ball came out as he hit the sideline.
Yeah, and you know what? The problem that I would have with that particular pattern is if he does make the catch, he's probably going to run out of bounds because his momentum was taking him in that way before he reached the line to gain for the first down.
in other words,
Into attempt a 31
he didn't have a chance to get the first down. Here's the field goal attempt from the 21-yard line, so it's going to be a 31-yard kick. It's up, and is it wide left? It is wide left. Wide left. That kick was from Coots, and he just, I guess that kind of had a fade to it, huh, Roger? Speaking of golf.
It did, but, you know, if Tim is successful on a place kick later today, you can say Coots boots the ball through the uprights.
Okay.
And there was a very famous company in Texas, Boots and Coots. They are specialists in putting out oil well fires.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Boots and Coots.
Boots and Coots.
Well, the Longhorns have dodged the bullet. They had the turnover, and they were able to stop them. Here's a handoff to the left side. Running to the 25-yard line, 26-yard line is, let's see, I got to get the number, got to get the roster right. That is Shelton. That's Shelton, who had a good game last week in a game where they were defeated by
the way, it's pretty easy to call the action when George Ranch is on offense. If you say Drinkard, there's a very good chance you're right about who has the ball.
Right, because they have another guy who runs the ball. His name is Drinkard, and I believe he's a freshman. Here's a handoff to Shelton again. This time he has strung out, and he has to belly back to the left, and he's going to lose 4 yards.
Can't make a better play than Kenneth Davis did there. He kind of rushed around from the backside and bulldogged a pretty quick back from behind.
Sheldon had not much chance there, and he had to try to belly back a little bit, give up a little bit of ground to try to gain ground. But Kenneth Davis had nothing of it, and there was a 4-yard loss. 3rd down and 9 now for the Longhorns after a good first down play. And now Drinkard looks like he's in a passing type formation. Got a man coming in motion, and it's going to be a fake handoff to Shelton. Roll to the right, pass downfield. He's got a man open, and it's in his hands, and then knocked away nicely by Cotton. Maxwell Cotton came in there after Carter looked like he was going to make the reception, and then Cotton was able to get a hand on it and knock it out of there.
By the way, folks, do not forget that we have a doubleheader today. We will come your way at 5:40 p.m. for our nightcap. It's Austin and Ridgepoint. And Ridgepoint, of course, undefeated in District 26A.
Set to punt for the Longhorns.
So here we go with the punt now. As the Longhorns were unable to get a first down in that possession. Here's a left-footed kick. Fair catch caught at about the 48-yard line. That catcher down there was Jarrett Mitchell. Nice job of receiving that punt. So both teams have had the ball. Neither team has been able to score. The Vikings had the great opportunity, but were unable to at least capitalize even on a field goal. And we're well into the first quarter now, 7 minutes to play on this absolutely beautiful October day here in Sugar Land, Texas. I don't know, you might not be able to draw it up much better, Roger.
According to this little iPhone network, 82 degrees.
With a nice breeze.
Just wonderful here in beautiful Sugar Land,
and
Texas.
We are starting to get mostly shade here where we're sitting, which helps Roger a lot. Here's the handoff to Hodges. Nothing there. Whoa. What, he got 3 or 4 Longhorns tackling him in there, and that one of the guys, Bishop was one of the guys in there, and then there were a couple others. Bishop is a big lineman. Now a whistle, and we have a timeout here by the referee. Not sure what he's seeing here.
Have an official's timeout for a bleeding player.
Well, we found out what that was.
A bleeding player.
Yeah.
This might be a good time to go to our next level urgent care spot, but I'm not going to do that. I'm instead going to point out that the Dulles Vikings, we weren't going to say this last year, Patrick, but we can say it now. They're much more enjoyable to watch on offense because they're more multiple. They started with a standard I formation, and they had a pistol before.
Here's the pitch now to the left. Hodges not finding much room again. Oh, I tell you what, the Longhorn defense is raring to go here. That was Akins on that tackle, the defensive back. He read it perfectly, and then he wrapped him up in a pretty good form tackle. 4-yard loss, and all of a sudden it's 3rd down and 15 now for the Vikings. And no team really likes this kind of down and distance, but especially the Vikings. And let's see what they can come up with here. Going with the wind here in the first quarter. 6:20 to play and no score between the Longhorns and the Vikings. Bird now waiting for his snap with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's got it. Back to pass, looking to his right. Looking. Now he's running to his right. Pass downfield. It is caught. Is he in bounds? He's out of bounds. Couldn't quite tap the toe in, but he would have been looks like he'd have been about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down had he caught it. But they might have been able to go for it on 4th down. Now they're going to have to punt for sure. And it looks like Coots is coming in to punt.
It's a very defensive game so far, Patrick. When Dulles got the ball the first time, they ran 2 plays with Cole Hodges and got a first down on both of them, I think.
Yeah,
and since then, it's been 3 and outs by both clubs.
And Hodges has not been able to find any room since that first couple of carries he had. He's really struggled. It's high snap. Great catch by Coots, and he gets it out of there with a pretty good kick, and it's rolling now inside the 10. Holy mackerel, that's got to be the play of the game so far, Roger. What
Absolutely.
A great catch on a high snap. He's able to get it out of there, and the ball rolled how many yards? About 15, 20 yards on the roll. 25 maybe?
6 plus 49. I may not be a smart man, but I think that's 55 yards, and it could have been disaster. It could have rolled all the way into the red zone, and he could have turned around and been tackled immediately.
He had to get a hand up just to knock it or to tap it in the air, and then he tapped it to himself, and then he was able to get a good punt off. What a great play by Coots. That ball is at the 1-yard line for the Longhorns. 99 yards away. Drinkard's going to be under center now with an I formation behind him. And he got the snap. It's going to be the second man through Shelton. He's got a good block. He's to the 5-yard line, still going. He's to the 10, 15, and he's knocked out of bounds somewhere around that 15-yard line. And if you're the George Ranch Longhorns, that's a heck of a play coming out of there off the 1-yard line.
Yes,
14-yard
and
gain.
their first down of the morning. I started to say afternoon.
Which makes you think what? First Tire and Auto?
Oh, yeah, that's right. First Tire and Auto. Yeah, that's who you should think of for the best prices on tires and any service that you need to help your car run at its very best. 4 great Fort Bend County locations. FirstTireandAuto.com.
They're out of the I formation again with Drinkard under center. And he's waiting for a snap. He's got it. It's going to be to Shelton again with a lead blocker to the left. Now this time, no go. As Travion, is it Richard or Richard? That's Richard. Last night we had a guy at the same thing. With the last name, and I tried to figure out if it was Richard or Richard, but we went with Richard, and today is for sure Richard. Travion Richard makes a great tackle for a 3-yard loss.
And the reason I'm sure is Mark Rosenbaum is the PA guy today. He's a Dulles teacher
knows.
and a former coach.
Yeah.
And he goes over all the lists. I heard him doing it today because it's senior day.
So if I'm not sure, I'll just listen to him, and then I'll get the correct pronunciation. Drinkard hands it off to Shelton again. No, it's not Shelton. He's to the 15 to the 20, and his gain is about 7 yards. That's Drake Drinkard. That's his brother, Hayden Drinkard.
There are 3 Drinkards on the George Ranch team, and they all play offense.
You got your quarterback, you got the running back, and I'm looking for the third one, Roger.
He's there somewhere.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, that's the quarterback. I'm trying to find the third one. Drinkard, number 2. Roger.
Not to worry.
We're going to have to find that out.
They're there.
Here's a handoff. That's Drinkard again. He's going to be short of the first down. Or he's very close. Let's see where they mark it. Rogers really trying to make sure.
They must have one of them out, and that would be Hyman Drinkard.
Yeah. Don't quite see him on our roster, but that's okay. We'll stop talking about that for right now. And he was able to get the first down. I thought he was a little short, but Hayden Drinkard was able to fight for that first down, and that's 2 back-to-back first downs for the Longhorns as the clock winds to 3:50 to play here in the first quarter. And I can't tell you, if I keep repeating about how beautiful a day it is, I'm sorry, but it's just so nice to be outside watching high school football. Drinkard hands off to the front man, and the lead blocker is going to get a carry this time. He's going to pick up 3 yards. I got to make sure who that is. Was it Shelton? I think it was. Shelton was playing the fullback position that time, and he got the handoff. And he's able to he picked up 3 yards, actually 4.
To give everybody an idea of just what a gorgeous day it is, if you're a fan of the TV show Friday Night Lights, this day is as beautiful as Lila Garrity.
Boy, Roger.
Those of you who watched the show know what I'm talking about. She was just gorgeous.
Here's a fake handoff. Drinkard keeps it after the fake, and he fights his way to about the 32, and his helmet came off.
Yeah, Kenneth Davis ripped it off. And,
so
you know, that's one way to get the opposing quarterback, their starter, out of the lineup for at least one play.
And it wasn't anything malicious or anything. It just happened to be the way the tackle was made.
2 on the play.
Drinkard goes off and gets that helmet back on quick, and I think he's going to get a swig of water.
George Ranch.
Now there's a way. That's a way to solve that problem.
Yeah.
It's a timeout with 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. No score between the Vikings and Longhorns.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community, open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugar Land, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From ow to wow, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent Care.
As you know, Patrick and I were reacting the same way, so that we see Drinkard get his helmet ripped off, and in order to avoid running a play without him at quarterback, George Ranch just said, okay, we'll take a timeout, which they did with 3:01 to go in this first quarter. It's scoreless between the Dulles Vikings and these George Ranch Longhorns.
So by taking the timeout, they do not have to keep Drinkard out for the play, and he's back in under center with the I formation behind him. Fake handoff, rolling to his left, pass to the left flat, caught by Shelton. He's going to be close to the first down, but where'd that knee come down?
It is very hard to tell.
Yeah, I think he got it the way they spotted it. He was fighting for the first down, and he apparently got to the line because it's a first
Gio
down.
Navarrete kind of pulled him down, and it looked like his knee came within an inch or two of hitting the field turf, but he had one more lunge. He was able to push hard with the other leg and dive far enough to get the first down.
And that last lunge was able to get him that first down, so the Longhorns are moving it here from the 1 yard line all the way down to the 35, their own 35. Drinkard in the shotgun this time. He's going to hand it off. And I believe that is Drinkard with the ball, Hayden, and he's going to lose a yard. There was nothing there. And Smith was in there. Hezekiah Smith was one of the guys in there making the tackle. Good job by him and his teammates. I'm trying to think of what the Viking uniform looks like. Is it a little bit of, could that be like a Ole Miss kind of look at times? Do they wear their red jerseys sometimes?
A little bit like Ole Miss, except the pants are darker than the blue.
Ole Miss does not wear that color blue, but the jersey kind of gives you that feel. I don't know what the George Ranch uniforms make me think. They're a little bit more unique. Here's a screen pass up the middle. It's caught. He's at the 45-yard line, close to the 50. That is Muckleroy on the reception in a little middle screen. He had blockers, and he had a lot of room to the left, and he's approaching the midfield area. The 47-yard line is where they spot it. Nice play by the Longhorns.
You know, if the Longhorns, they took over on their own 1 yard line, and the first person I'm thinking of is Tony Dorsett, who had that 99-yard run Cowboys against the Vikings back in 1982, I think it was.
That was Monday Night Football, wasn't it?
It sure was.
Yeah, that was amazing, 99-yard run for Tony Dorsett. Here's a handoff to Drinkard. He's going to be clipped up there at the line of scrimmage by Richard for a gain of about 2. I think, well, let's give him, that looks more like a gain of 1. Second down and 9. Did Tony Dorsett come into the league Tony Dorsett?
He was Dorsett when he enrolled at Pitt University.
Pitt. Okay.
But after his freshman year, he was suddenly Dorsett.
I'm not sure.
Just like
what all
Devon Achane became Devon A-Chain.
A-Chain, yeah. Well, I tell you,
he changed his name because someone just told him just go with the one we
I
tell you to go with.
really like A-Chain. He is a really good runner for A&M. Here's a handoff to Drinkard again. Hayden is going to fight for about another yard, and that'll bring up third down and a solid 7 yards to go, about 7.5 yards to go for the Longhorns, who have moved the ball to the 49-yard line from their own 1. They're trying to make one of those long drives.
Well, I know that our Dulles fans, whom we love so much, don't want this to be a 99-yard Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive, but it will be if George Ranch can finish it. However, we won't know if they can finish this drive until we bring in the second quarter. And it's time for that because the first quarter is over. We'll be right back on VypeFortBend.com. No score, George Ranch in Dulles.
There is nothing spooky about these spectacular specials at First Tire and Automotive. Save $50 off 2 tires and $100 off 4 tires with the purchase of a premium installation package. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Cannot be combined with any other offers. And if your battery seems to be ghosting you, save 15% on AC Delco batteries. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for details and to book your appointment today. First Tire and Automotive with 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. firsttireandauto.com.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Back here at Mercer Stadium, where the Longhorns face a 3rd and 7.5. Drinkard, inside handoff. Shelton has it, finds room. No, that's Drinkard. He fumbles the ball as he's close to the first down. I think the Vikings have it. Oh, my goodness. Hayden Drinkard had a first down, and the ball came out loose at the very end of the run. And the Vikings were right there to scoop it up. Second turnover of the game for the Longhorns.
You know, they kept the ball for 13 plays. They started at their own 1, so they advanced, let's see here, 49, 59 plus 7 is they advanced 66 yards and have nothing to show for it. You don't have to run by. It's okay.
Well, the only thing they have to show for it, if you want to say anything, is they did flip the field a little bit, but boy, they were driving, and it's hard to make a long drive. Would you say 13 plays, Roger? It's hard to have a lot of plays without a mistake. It's just human nature. Here's a pass to the right. It's complete, and it's going to be a gain of about 7 yards. And
Victor Adarunboy
makes the catch. That's his first catch of the ball game, as he looked like he just ran down about 5 yards and stopped. And then the quarterback, Bird, was able to get it to him, and they picked up 7 yards on the first play. Actually, 8 yards. Let's call it the 41-yard line. Second down and 2 now, and Bird brings him up to the line of scrimmage in the pistol formation and with 2 receivers to the right. Hand off. That's a different runner now. It's going to be Ross getting the hand off that time, the junior back and linebacker, and he's able to get 1 yard only. 3rd down and 1 now. Bird goes over the line of scrimmage, or to the sideline, and he just went over to the coach to get the play face to face.
I'm always intrigued when you have the head coach and his son as the quarterback.
Yeah, the relationship obviously is quite a different dynamic. Here's a 3rd and 1, handoff up the middle. Ross is going to get that first down. He was stopped at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to keep the legs moving. Blockers kept him going too, and it was a first down close to the 44-yard line, their own 44.
You know, that's a first down, and people should think about First Tire and Automotive for all their car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. There's a great location for you Dulles folks. That's on Lexington Boulevard, near First Colony Mall, but it's on your side of Highway 6. Very convenient.
And it's don't let the name fool you. It's not just tires, right, Roger?
Oh, that's right.
It's all your automotive needs. Here's the handoff up the middle, and it's going to be Ross again. He's getting the bulk of the carries here on this series, and he's going to pick up looks like 4 yards.
Well, just to clarify,
Solid
it's not all your automotive needs. It's the automotive needs for your existing car.
There you go.
They don't sell cars.
Well, okay.
They sell tires and
I
service.
certainly wasn't implying that, Roger.
I know, that's
but
why.
Thanks for clarifying.
That's why it's kind of it's meant to be amusing.
Yes. 2nd down and 6. Bird has the snap. Ross gets the carry. No, it's a fake. He's got a man open. He's at the 35-30. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. That's Mitchell. Jarrett Mitchell off the fake handoff. How open was he?
Oh, it was
There was nobody there.
It was a Tebow type play. The only thing different was Case and Bird, after faking the handoff, did not leap in the air. He just threw it with his feet on the ground and got it to go.
That was what you would call a surprise. And George Ranch was not ready for it. It was a great fake because I thought Ross had it. But then Bird pulled it out. He looked downfield, and Mitchell was wide open. Here's the kick by Coots. It is going to be good. That's got to feel good for him after missing the field goal earlier. It's 7-0 Dulles with 9:29 to play here in the first quarter. What do you got for the drive?
It's an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive. It covers 67 yards in 5 plays. Took 2 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock. Wrapped up on the very creative Case and Bird touchdown pass to Mitchell, and we'll be right back on VypeFortBend.com.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's discuss a very real existential threat to internet speed. It's a big one. Ready? T-Mobile Home Internet. It lags. Now, what is lag? Lag is a delay in data being transmitted across the internet. For example, you're hitting that hot drop, the parachute cuts out, you've got an unsuspecting bot in your sights, and lag! You were actually eliminated 10 seconds ago. Nobody deserves that. So stop letting T-Mobile Home Internet ruin everything and switch to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFacts.
Get an amazing value on Xfinity Internet with unlimited data included. Switch for $55 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract required and no equipment fees for 24 months. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFacts, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 10/17/22. Restrictions apply. New fast internet and xFi Complete customers only. xFi Gateway required. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
We're back here at Mercer Stadium, and Coots is teeing the ball up after the Vikings score their first touchdown of the game, and here's the kick. It's a pooch kick. Fair catch is signaled for, but the ball sails out of bounds as the man who was signaling for the fair catch was Jones, but he couldn't catch it because it sailed out of bounds, Roger.
That was Gregor the Overlander Jones. He's one of the best receivers that George Ranch has, and you know, he's just got that height. He's kind of like Joey Mongonia of Clements, whom we saw last night. Mongonia is 6'5", and they don't list the height of Gregor Jones, but he's a tall drinker of water. I'm sorry.
So let me
I'm so used to hearing you say drinker that instead of saying tall drink of water, I said.
Okay, Roger, here I've got a question for you. They give the positions of the players: DB, defensive back; WR, wide receiver; QB. Jones, his is ATH.
For athlete.
That's it.
He can
I
do
was
it
gonna
all,
say,
I
was
guess.
thinking that has to be it, but I've never seen that on a roster. He's just an athlete. Unlike all the other players, I guess. Here he's back to pass now. It's Drinkard looking deep. He's to the left side. Oh, and it was almost a reception, but a great play by the man who just scored the touchdown. That's Jarrett Mitchell tipping that ball away. And Jones was the intended receiver. He was there, but then Mitchell, out of nowhere, leaped up and tipped it away. That's about as good a defensive play as you could make as a defensive back, unless you actually intercept it. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Longhorns. Vikings have the momentum here. They lead 7-0. Drinkard going to hand it off to Sheldon. He fights off a tackler, and he's wrapped up eventually there at the 38-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 3. He had to fight hard for those 3 yards. Vikings are on the outside looking in to the playoff situation, but a win here today gets them a step closer. Of course, the Longhorns are in really good position if they can just win their game. So this is I guess you could almost say this is a playoff game right now, Roger. fighting hard
it's
for the
a
playoffs.
de facto playoff game,
Yeah.
except George Ranch won't be totally eliminated should they lose.
There you go. That's the other reason why we don't want to go too hard on that. Pass to the right side. It's incomplete. That's to Jones, but a great defensive play again by the Vikings. It looks like Adrian Fan was able to knock it down. 4th down now for the Longhorns.
George Ranch was trying to get the first down through the air by going to Gregor the Overlander Jones, but that was a very good defensive play to prevent the catch.
Navarrete is deep. He's kind of mid-deep.
Well, he's shallow.
Mid-deep or shallow. He's there to field a short punt, and then deep is Mitchell, Jarrett Mitchell. He is at about the 30-yard line waiting for the kick, which is going to come with the wind from the Longhorns. And it's fumbled. The snap is fumbled. He gets it off. Now they're going to call a penalty on the play.
They
running
can't
into the
do
kicker.
that.
I think
they can't do that.
If he fumbles it, aren't you
exactly
free game here, fair game? The kick was kicked there by Mikkel, David Mikkel. I don't know if it's Mikkel or Michelle.
It's Michelle.
Michelle, and he dropped it, picked it up, dropped it again. He got it off. One of the Vikings ran into him, but I always thought when you fumble the ball, you don't get that.
Running in the kicker by the defense. That penalty's declined. First down.
Unless something has changed, Patrick, in the rules, you're absolutely right. When the ball is dropped by the punter, if he doesn't catch the snap clean, he's fair game.
Well, apparently we're wrong because I don't see the Vikings complaining about it. And
maybe it's a player safety rule that's been altered.
Yeah, and I think luckily for the Vikings, it was just running into the kicker, and it was not a malicious hit. And so it would have been a 5-yard penalty. Longhorns would not have gotten a first down, and the punt rolled all the way to the 2. So the Longhorns declined the penalty smartly, and they have the Vikings backed up 98 yards away. This is the second time we've seen a drive start way down here at this end of the field. The Longhorns had one at the 1, and they have a snap count that fooled the Longhorns, and they jumped offside.
That's the kind of strategic move that you get when the head coach's son is a quarterback. Cason Bird comes out, uses the hard count. So instead of being at the 2-yard line, they will move the ball out to the 7 on the encroachment by the defense.
It is encroachment. The Longhorns, of course, were pointing at the Vikings as if they had moved.
52.
But
5-yard penalty remains first down.
They call it on one of the players, but there were about 4 guys who jumped offside there.
They called Zeke Hunsu.
It's kind of unfair because there were at least 3 guys who jumped. Here's a first down and 5 play. Handoff and fighting for the first down, close to it. And I can't quite see who got the ball there on that carry. Sorry about that.
21.
Well, let's see. I think it was number 4.
Adi Samazi. There you go.
Samazi carried it, number 7. Yeah.
You're right. Sorry.
Samazi.
First down, Vikings.
It was hard to tell once he got the handoff because he was in a mix of players. And once he got up, we were able to figure out number 7, Samazi. First down, and the Vikings able to get out of that hole here. Here's a pitch to the right. Coming through the lane. He's going to get a good gain here. And I think it's Samazi again. He might have 6 yards. And
Kevin Odikpo coming up to make the tackle. And if you're Dulles, you want safeties making the tackle a lot.
Right.
And there's an injured player for George Ranch on the ground, and that is Zeke Hunsu, who was the one that jumped off sides a couple of plays ago. But trainers are checking him out. And we'll take a break here. It is 7-0 Dulles with 7:49 to go in the half.
Equitable Advisors financial professionals know the path to a fulfilling future begins with getting to know who you are and what matters to you most. They work with people as individuals. That's how they deliver on their mission, just like Nick Arevalo, CFP. Talk to your local Equitable Advisor financial professional at 281-712-8777 or visit nickarevalo.com. That's NICKAREVALO.com. Together, you and my friend Nick can plan a future that reflects all of who you are. Equitable Advisors, LLC, New York, New York, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory through Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. CFP is a certification mark owned by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, Incorporated. This mark is awarded to individuals who successfully complete the CFP Board's initial and ongoing certification requirements.
We see all you do to get work done, whether it's keeping your office clean or redesigning your space for 3 or 300. Our business is to keep business going. Buy online and pick up in store, or get free next business day shipping at Office Depot, OfficeMax, and OfficeDepot.com.
We want to thank the folks at Office Depot, Southwest Freeway at Williams Trace in Sugar Land, for taking care of business every day so we can bring you Fort Bend County sports every week. Well, Zeke Hunsu was able to get off the field. He's favoring his left leg, and hopefully he'll be able to come back.
He was walking fairly gingerly. Bird back to pass, looking to the right. He's got this man open. He's got it to the 50, the 40. He's going to go all the way. That's going to be at a run boy for the touchdown. He caught it around the 40. Missed tackle, and he tight-roped down the sideline for a touchdown. That is a 98-yard drive, Roger.
It is an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive that takes only 3 plays, burns up 58 seconds on the scoreboard clock, and as you said, 98 yards and a 81-yard pass from Kason Bird to Adirunboy.
He was credit the line because he had a great protection on the pass play, and he found Adirunboy kind of a sort of a down-and-out type pattern. The tackler missed the tackle, and he ran all the way in. Here's Coots with the extra point. It's good, and all of a sudden, the Vikings have a 14-0 lead midway through the second quarter.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community, open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugar Land, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From ow to wow, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent
Back at Mercer,
Care.
Coots is going to kick it again. He's happy to be doing this, kicking off. His kick is to the left. It's McGuire going to receive it for the Longhorn. 25, 20, 30, 40. He's on his way. 40, 30. Can they catch him? I don't think so. All the way for the touchdown. How about that for an answer? Oh, my goodness. A 90-yard touchdown on the kickoff return from Kennard McGuire. He found a seam, got to the sideline, and the last man to try to get him was Coots, who could not knock him out of bounds, and there's an answer for you. It's 14-6 now.
I will say this. Coots never gave up, and he came really close to bumping him out of bounds.
I thought he was going to at least...
Sideline warning. George Ranch. That's their first warning.
All right, so one of the, or a few of the players or coaches or something were beyond their restricted area, and they're getting a warning on the sideline violation. The reason why they call that is because the officials are running along the sideline, and they don't want to get tripped up.
Yeah, you can get a lot of different types of folks hurt when you wander beyond the sideline.
Michelle is going to kick it left footer high, strong kick. It's all the way through, all the way to the field house there. It's 14-7 now. We'll take a break. Vikings on top.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately, like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
We're back here at Mercer, and the Vikings were enjoying that 13-point lead, or excuse me, that 14-point lead for a very short time because the Longhorns came back with a kickoff return by Kennard McGuire. And it's 14-7 with 7 minutes to play here in the first half. Michel will kick it off for the Longhorns. He's got the wind to his back, left footer. It's going to come down at the 5-yard line. Fielded by Fan. Fan running to his right, hit hard at the 23. He's able to hang on to that ball, fortunately for the Vikings. But they'll start at their own 23 with a 14-7 lead. And the Vikings had all the momentum going in here until that kickoff return. And now the Longhorns have a little momentum in their favor. See if the Vikings can respond to that.
Vikings start at the 23-yard line.
Kickoff return, and they are huddling now at the 15-yard line. And they bring him out. It's Bird. He's got 2 backs behind him. Kind of a power formation. Pitch to the left. Ross, not going to get much. Longhorns are right there. It's going to be a 2-yard loss. Camden Ross was, now we got some penalty markers coming in late. There could be some personal foul or something here. Something must have been said. I think it's going to be Ross coming off the field. He might have barked something back at the Longhorns inappropriately because he's coming off the field now being escorted by Bird, the quarterback, as if to calm him down a little bit.
Unsportsmanlike offense number 10. 15-yard penalty. Remain second down.
So what happened was he was tackled for a 2-yard loss. There might have been a little bit of extra something going on in the pile, which led him to either say something or take a swipe at somebody. I'm not sure what. I didn't see it. I did see the 2 flags come flying up from a couple of the officials at the same time, so they heard it or saw it at the same time as well, and that takes the ball back to the 10. Now it's trouble for the Vikings. They're back at their own 10, and it's going to be second down and forever. Let's call it second down about 25. From their own 10, so that momentum of a 14-0 lead is quickly diminished. Now a whistle. What do we got here? One of the officials stepped over the ball.
The game clock to 6:52. 6:52.
And you heard that. They're making a correction here. Roger is set to go. Lunch has been made. Roger, I was going to ask you earlier, what do we got going at halftime? I know you have some interesting people to talk to. Maybe after this play you can give us the lowdown on your halftime interviews, which are always very exciting.
Sounds good.
Here are the second down and 25 play. Bird running to his right. He's got out a run boy at the 20. He's still fighting. He's going to get to the 24-yard line. He is a very tough guy to bring down. Roger, that gets him to the original line of scrimmage after that big personal foul penalty. Well, actually an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Out a run boy, I tell you, when he gets that ball, he is a hard guy to bring down. He's a big guy.
Big and fast.
Yeah.
And he's strong. He dragged a couple of tacklers about 3 or 4 extra yards.
You kind of like to see, and I'm sure the Vikings, I'm not giving any, this is not rocket science or anything, but I'm sure they try to get the ball to him as much as they can, and that would be a good strategy. Here's a 3rd and 9. Bird, he's got Adirondack boy again. He's open. 30, He's running hard. He's going to be at that first down marker. I think he's got it at the 34. I'm surprised how open he was. There was, it was just a little, I don't know what you even call that pattern. You run 4 yards and stop, little hitch or something. And Roger's going to give us the tackle.
Well, I'm going to give you the 4 tacklers it took to bring him down. Henry Chukwue, Adrian Falkway, Colin McLemore, and there was one more, 17. Well, already got Henry Chukwue, but it did take 4 guys to bring Adirunboy down.
He received it somewhere around the 29, and then he was able to get 5 more yards and get that first down. Here's a handoff up the middle, and nothing doing. Maybe 1 yard loss to the runner there. And was it Richard on the carry?
It was Cotton.
Cotton. No, well, let's see. Yeah, Cotton, Maxwell Cotton.
And Trent Turner, the tackler, did not cotton to that particular play, so he dropped him for no gain.
Yep, no gain on the play, second down and 10. The clock winds to the 5-minute mark here in the first half.
By the way, Patrick, here inside the press box at Mercer, have you ever washed your hands up there?
Yeah, it's
Hold on, I've got good news for you.
Oh, good. Here's a motion penalty, I think, coming against one of the guys left a little early. It might have been Garza, big lead blocker. You think he might have jumped the gun just a little bit there.
Well, we don't know who did it because his mic cut out, but Garza, he's kind of like Adirunboy, except not as gifted at carrying the ball, but man, he can be a beautiful lead blocker, and blow people up.
He's one of those guys who's a really big guy. He could almost be an offensive lineman, and he wears a small number. He's wearing number 6, kind of against the grain of the traditional numbers anyway. Here's a second down and 15 for the Vikings. Pitch to the right. It's going to be Ross, who came back into the ballgame. He's fighting. He's all the way to the 40. He got those last 5 yards just by sheer determination. It was a pitch. He ran it to the right, and he was able to get a good gain.
And by the way, I love what Ross did there. He was coming to the right. He was making his decision whether to get to the edge or cut back inside. Travion Richard was right out in front, and as soon as at the last instant he moved his man out to the outside, you had Ross cut up inside.
He read his block beautifully. Here's a handoff. It's Ross again. Kind of an interesting-looking play. He's fighting for that first down. He's going to be short by about a yard. Will they go for it here in their own territory with a 7-point lead?
You wanted to know about halftime? When you listen to our halftime show, one of our guests is going to make you hungry for beef. And it's not just because we're broadcasting the George Ranch Longhorns today, but you will also hear from the Texas A&M Aggies pitching coach, and also the guy that makes the paint that decorates the field for the Super Bowl and the national championship game, all those big events.
It's 4th down and about 1. The Vikings are at the line of scrimmage. I think they try to draw them offside, but now they're going to call timeout, and we will take a timeout too.
No, we're going to keep it here because there's something else I had to say.
Roger has more things to add. 3:19 to play, and the Longhorns trail the Vikings by 7 here.
Well, I'll bet people of both genders will realize that sometimes, I don't know why anybody invented these things that I call needle water routers. You know, you turn on the faucet and you got these tiny little streams of water that come out so hard.
Yeah. Splashes all over the place.
It splatters all over your clothes, and it really doesn't effectively rinse your hands. Well, someone has taken out that little thing that makes it needle water in the faucet up there where we wash our hands before we.
That because I was in there just earlier.
Yeah, and so somebody just yanked it right out of there, and now it comes out nice and smooth, and it flows like at in the restroom at Gringo's. Do you ever eat at Gringo's?
I believe I have. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just gently flows out. And it feels good, and it doesn't spatter on you, and it effectively rinses your hands.
Yeah, what's interesting, Roger, is not that we want to belabor this point, but these days you can't get a paper towel yourself. It's got to be automatic. You got to put your hand on there or close to there, and you ever have that where the paper towel doesn't come out? You got to figure out where the hand. Here the Vikings are coming up in a very, very powerful formation. Straight. Snap to the runner, and he's going to get that first down. That's Mitchell.
Richard.
I'm sorry. Number one. The big guy. They had a power formation, they were all bunched together, and then he had a couple of blockers in front of him. Straight snap to Richard. He went through the right tackle area, and he got a good gain of about 6 yards, and that's why not do that when you got a guy like Mitchell in the backfield. Here come the Vikings. Pitch to Ross, left side, finds room. He's got the 45, close to the 44. They're going to mark it at the 45. It'll be a gain of 3. So Ross, after his unsportsmanlike conduct, comes back into the ball game with a little more energy. Wants to prove himself. And now the Vikings have a couple of players shifting back and forth. New man coming into the ball game. Marvin Thomas. And Garza leaves. Are at the 45-yard line of the Longhorns. They're responding nicely to that kickoff return. Bird back to pass, looking to the right, rolling. He just gets rid of it. Just before he was being tackled by big number 99, Cody Ford, he just got rid of the ball, and I think it was a smart play by Bird. I think he was looking for Adirondboy, who was streaking down the right side. I don't think it was him. It was somebody else was running that way.
Well, you know something else that I've observed by not seeing something. Cody Ford, when Travis played that game against George Ranch at Tully Stadium that you and I broadcasted, Cody Ford was in on a lot of plays. But Dulles has been doing a great job of blocking the left defensive end for the George Ranch Longhorns today.
3rd and 7. Bird looking to the right. Now he has to pull it back. Now he's running. Flag comes down. Pass is thrown out of bounds. It could be a hold.
There is a flag on the play.
That flag is in the mix of where the linemen are. Bird wanted to go to his initial receiver. He had to pull it back because he was covered. Then he had to roll to the right and not much room up there, and he ended up throwing it away. And here's our call on the penalty.
Holding, offense number 52. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
So they had the holding call against them, but the Longhorns decide to decline it. 4th down and 7. I'd imagine the Vikings are going to go for it here. 2:06 to play here and a half. Nope, looks like they're going to punt it. Play a little field position. They want to take that lead into the halftime locker room. Try to pin the Longhorns deep. And I believe the Vikings get the ball starting the second half, so that might come into play as well in the decision making. Longhorns will get the ball, but they'll be, unless they have a great return here, they'll be deep in their own end. Coots is going to kick it. Kicks it fairly well over the head of the man receiving it, and it stops up at the 5 and recovered down there by, I believe it's number 2? Let's see. It's Cotton. Cotton down there. What a job of getting on that ball. That's not easy to be running that fast and then to get on that ball that's floating around on the floor, on the ground. And that worked out perfectly for the Vikings. The receiver of the punt was Franklin. He did a good job of letting it go because typically that's going to go into the end zone, but the ball stopped up at the 5 and just instead of rolling, it bounced straight up. And then Cotton was down there very effectively on it. 1:59 to play here in the half. Longhorns 94 yards away from the tying touchdown. Here's a pitch to the right. Shelton looking for some room. He's going to not get much. Maybe the 7-yard line. They keep the clock running. He must have been now down inside even though he landed out of bounds eventually. Clock runs. Both teams still have 2 timeouts left. Longhorns going to have to play it somewhat safe because they don't want to turn the ball deep in their own end. They've already got 2 turnovers here today. The ball's marked at, looks like the 8-yard line. 2nd down and 8 yards to go for the Longhorns. Drinkard got Shelton behind him and a lead blocker in front of him, I formation. Here's the snap. Shelton, last play to the right. He's got some room over there. He's going to be close to a 1st down, but I think he's going to be a little short. Got to about the 15. He's about 2 yards short of the 1st down as the clock winds to the 1-minute mark. Are you surprised the Vikings don't call timeout here, maybe?
Jaden Shelton once again to carry.
But I guess
By the Vikings,
they're going to just let the
Kenneth
clock
Davis.
run. They are very happy with the 7-point lead, and instead of risking any other turnover or anything, they're going to just try to let that clock wind down. And the Longhorns have a 3rd and 1 from their own 15. close to 2 yards to go on this third down play. Here's a hand, ball's loose. Who's got it? Drinker's trying to get on it. Vikings have it. I think they have a touchdown. Where are they going to mark it? Are they going to mark it at the half-yard line? It's recovered down there by number 35. I'm going to look at my roster. It's Smith. Hezekiah Smith. Drinkard looked like, sorry about that.
I knew that was going to happen.
I think he was trying to hand the ball off. The ball came loose off of a hit. And there's your third turnover of the game for the Longhorns. What a costly fumble there. And I think the Vikings are going to come in with the power formation.
Well, in that situation, deep in your own end, you got to remember BS, ball security.
Now there's a timeout. I believe the Longhorns are going to call a timeout. And
well, they can call timeout, but it ain't going to keep the Vikings out of the end zone, I don't think.
With 26 seconds remaining. And the thing about that play is they weren't going to try to go score. They were just trying to run the clock out, basically. And I don't really know exactly what happened. I guess one of the Viking linemen shot through there.
Yes.
And as Drinkard was trying to hand the ball off, he extended his hands, right, to hand it off. And then what, Roger? Was tipped out of his hand.
Well, I think mainly it's like where the quarterback turns his back on the defensive line to make that handoff, and he didn't see someone shoot through a gap, and I guess he just probably came with the uppercut, and I'm sorry I didn't identify who forced the fumble.
We really would like to have identified that fella because that made the play, and then, of course, the Smith was able to recover it. I thought he scored because basically he just recovered it and landed in the end zone, but I guess his knee was down. They have two backs behind Bird. He's going to hand it off. It's going to be a touchdown, and that is Richard, I think. Number 1?
Yes.
Touchdown to Richard. Travion Richard scores on the half-yard run. And now we got a penalty marker coming in late, Roger. Could be one of those
something after the play
conduct. I think the touchdown's going to stand.
Well, by the way, I think they actually gave the ball to Adi Samazi, and the top part of his 7 is folded up.
Okay.
And it made it look like a slanted 1, but it was actually 7.
It was Samazi on the carry. You're exactly right.
So that Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive.
Kicking team number 52. That 15-yard penalty be assessed on the kickoff.
Okay, so Dulles will kick off at their own 25 instead of the 40 after that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. But that Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive covered 4 inches and took 1 second, and it was the run by Samazi.
And now Cooch is going to kick the extra point, and something must have been said, perhaps some taunting or something, to force that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which is going to be enforced on the kickoff, which might come into play here. It could give the Longhorns decent field position, and they might be able to do something with it, but there's not much time.
Point after touchdown kick, number 18, Tim Coots.
Coots is going to kick it now and try to tack that extra point on. 20-7 is the score right now. Snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is up and good, and it's 21-7. We're going to take a short break. 21-7 Vikings.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
No, not sweat. Here we are back at Mercer Stadium in mid-conversation.
Sorry about that.
The kickoff is going to be from the 25-yard line after that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty going against the Vikings. But the Vikings took advantage of that fumble And Roger said it was a 4-inch touchdown drive.
It took 1 second. Actually, it took
less than a second.
It took, let's see, 0.5 of a second off the clock.
Now Coots is going to be kicking from his own 25. He's setting it up at the the left hash. And let's see what he comes up with here against the wind.
Well, I guess the only thing to do is kick it as deep as you can, because you don't want to kick a pop-up kick into the wind. When you're kicking off from your 25, you might enable George Ranch to throw a Hail Mary.
You would think you want to go deep here, yeah. We got Randall deep with McGuire with it. It is a pooch kick, though, and it's going to be a fair catch at the 50-yard line. And the fair catch is made by Franklin. Roger, you're a little surprised by that, maybe?
Yeah.
No time off the clock. The ball's at the 50. You still got a timeout. I'm not sure what the kicker, the effectiveness of their kicker. Let's see.
Start at the 49-yard line.
I would keep it low, try to get some distance on it, but don't kick it back to the guy that ran it all the way back the last time.
You could even kick a squibber or something and make the
squib.
guy. Although we saw a squibber. Who did that the other week? Was it Travis who did the squibber, and then the guy ran it back all the way to the 1-yard line?
That was Clements. I can't remember who did it. Maybe John Lewis.
Here's Drinkard now. He's going to hand it off. A little counter play. They get the ball about 2 yards into Viking territory. I'm a little surprised by that call. Shelter takes the handoff, and there's 12 seconds to play here in the half. And I think that's their last timeout. So the Longhorns, maybe they'll just throw one of them up there.
George Ranch.
See if they can get something out of it.
Team timeout of the half.
Maybe they get a penalty or something, and they could still kick a field goal. They do have the wind to their back, so I'm not sure how Medina is on his kicking. I'm thinking it's Medina.
Michelle,
I'm sorry. I see Medina's on there also, but it's Michelle, the kicker. Yeah, you're right. So he seems like he has a pretty strong leg. Let's see, I bet you if they get down to the 30, they might try something with the wind to his back.
Now, somebody recently, and we broadcast so many games that sometimes I forget which team did this, but I love that Boise State play where you have two guys running post patterns, one a little shallower than the other, and that one who runs the shallower pattern, as soon as his buddy catches it coming from the other side, he just receives the lateral and tries to get something.
Yeah, maybe they'll do something like that. Here's Drinkard rolling to his right, and he's still rolling. Now a penalty marker comes flying. He's over the line of scrimmage. He's looking for a block. That'll be the last play of the half, unless the penalty is against the Vikings. The penalty came out after the play started, so I'm not sure what it was. And we have the linesman now.
I'm very confident this will be on George Ranch, and I'm going to rip open my bag of chips for the halftime show.
Here's the call. Holding. It looks like holding against George Ranch. That's got to just run the clock out, I think, because they would
certainly
decline
should.
it. The clock would run.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Makes third down. Second down.
Well,
as soon as they reset the ball and say ready for play, the final 4 2/10 seconds will unravel, and that will be that.
And the question is, will George Ranch try to run a play? They're at the line of scrimmage. It looks like they're going to try to just snap it and try to run a play here. Ada Runboy comes running into the ball game for the Vikings.
They got a Vikings defender way back on the 25-yard line.
They got 4 defenders inside the 30, and they're playing it very safe. It's just going to be a handoff. Shelton's going to pad the numbers here. He's at 50, 40, and he's brought down at about the 36. That'll be the last play of the first half. A very impressive first half for the Vikings. The score at halftime from Mercer, Vikings of Dulles 21, and the Longhorns of George Ranch 7.
All right, coming up, we have the Next Level Urgent Care halftime show on VypeFortBend.com.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live. We bring your teams to you.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community, open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugarland, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From ow to wow, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent Care.
Welcome everybody, high school football fans and beef-loving Texans, to the Next Level Urgent Care halftime show. And I hope you're hungry because, well, we're at least going to put the idea of food into your head as we talk to Amy Goodson with the Texas Beef Council. And Amy, you know all about sports and nutrition. So tell me why I was able to meet you back in July and in San Antonio at the Texas High School Coaches Association convention.
So as a sports dietitian, I'm all about helping fuel young athletes to victory. So that's fueling training, performance, competition. And so doing that, I have partnered with Beef Loving Texans to create a high school sports nutrition program that is free to Texas high schools called the Sports Nutrition Game Plan. And it really is a game plan to help young athletes fuel their bodies, to help coaches learn how to teach those athletes, and provide both the athletes and their parents resources, video, content, etc., and recipes, right? Because we got to make it taste good to help fuel their bodies and ultimately perform at the most optimal level.
Well, Amy, I think that's a great idea because I just don't think children can go kindergarten through 12 without somebody suggesting to them that they need to have a diet that is free of meat. And I know I'm never going to live my life that way. I love beef. And what are some of the things that you can say to those who might be saying, I think the only way that I can be healthy is to be a vegan?
When we talk about fueling the body, so giving your body the nutrition that it needs a variety of nutrients. It needs carbohydrates, it needs fats, it needs protein, needs fruits, vegetables, all of the things. And so one of the fantastic components of beef is that it's a high quality protein, which means it gives you and your young athletes all of the essential amino acids that your body needs to build lean muscle mass, as well as repair lean muscle mass after exercise. And what I love about beef specifically is that it provides your body with 10 essential nutrients. So not only are you getting the protein, you're getting zinc and you're getting iron, and it's a food that people love. And for me, it doesn't matter how good the nutrition is, how good it is for you. If it doesn't taste good, kids specifically, those young athletes, won't eat it. So we're all about trying to make good nutrition taste good, and beef, along with other proteins, but it can really be a premier protein when we talk about fueling those young athletes, giving them the nutrients as well as the protein that they need to help their body become big, strong, and be able to really accomplish what they're doing on the field, the court, wherever they are.
We're talking with Amy Goodson of the Texas Beef Council, and I'll give you one other chance to do this before the interview is over. But if people want more information, if they're hearing what you're saying, you know what, maybe I need to rethink my daily nutritional habits, where do they need to go?
SportsNutritionGamePlan.com is where we have all of our information housed for our sports nutrition program for Texas high schools. Again, this is a free program that schools can take advantage of and offer the information to their coaches, their athletes, and their parents. I also have a flip book, the Sports Nutrition Playbook, that you can find at AmyGoodsonRD.com. It's the quick and easy version of how do you fuel your athlete? What do you buy when they're in the drive-thru? What about when you're playing a basketball tournament and you are in a hotel having breakfast, or it's halftime? What kind of snacks should you be putting in the locker room? So these are great opportunities for you to get your hands on some resources to really optimally fuel those young athletes.
Well, this is great information because there's no doubt that there are going to be some people who already love to eat meat, especially beef, and they'll be interested in what's the best way to nourish myself with those things. And if someone is on the fence about whether to eat meats or not, hopefully it's not a barbed wire fence, then maybe they can be enlightened, because maybe they've been shying away from meat consumption, specifically beef, just because of some things that they have heard. What are some of the things that you encountered when you were at that coaches convention, and what do people want to know when they come up to your booth?
Coaches of all ages that coach every type of sport want to know, how do we give our athletes the fuel that they need? I think it's not new information that young athletes are not doing the best job of fueling their bodies. A lot of them are eating processed foods and junk foods and fast foods all the time, and they're getting away with it because they're young, they're agile, they're growing, etc. But the key piece that so many coaches are wondering is, how do we give them good nutrition and something that they're going to take advantage of and actually do? So I do a lot of public speaking, working with different groups of people, and I always tell them, if you walk away from me and you don't know what to put on your plate at lunch, or you don't know what to pack in your kid's athletic bag, I did not do my job. So for me, it's all about teaching those athletes and the coaches how to fuel their body, so that we're talking about, all right, if I'm going to practice, what should I be throwing in my bag? If it's after practice, what should I be grabbing on my way home, or what should be my post-workout snack? So that you're really helping not only fuel activity, fuel recovery, but fuel overall good health and providing those athletes with the nutrition that they need.
And by the way, I want to give you a chance to kind of brag about your track record. You've been with some very high-level athletes, and making sure that their nutrition program was what they needed to perform at their best in competition.
I have worked Pee-wee to pro, I like to say. So from middle school and high school athletes through, I was the sports dietitian for TCU Athletics in Fort Worth, Texas for 10 and a half years. Go Frogs, also went to TCU. And then I spent 4.5 years with the Dallas Cowboys, 6 years with the Texas Rangers, and I've worked with a variety of other professional athletes and professional athlete teams. And we're all asking the same question: how do you get bigger, stronger, faster, feel good, have more energy, and recover at the most optimal level? And whether you are a freshman high school football player or a rookie in the NFL, the moral of the story is the same. You've got to do your job to fuel your body appropriately. I like to tell athletes of any age, your body is like a car. You have to put gas in your car to make it go. The better quality gas you put in your car, the better you take care of your car. The less amount of times it's going to run out of fuel, the less amount of times it's going to break down. It's probably going to last a lot longer. So the same concept really applies to our bodies. The better fuel we put in our bodies, the better we take care of it, the longer it's going to last, the better it's going to recover, and it shouldn't run out of energy as quickly as it might if you're not paying attention to your car or your body.
That's Amy Goodson of the Texas Beef Council. And one more time, people want to review what you've been talking about. Where do they go?
Visit sportsnutritiongameplan.com, and you will find all of our information of what we have developed with Beef Loving Texans for high school athletes, high school coaches, as well, athletic directors, whoever wants to take advantage of it. But if you're looking for a nutrition program, sports nutrition program to fuel your young athletes, has content, video, little blurbs that coaches can push out to their athletes, this is a really fantastic resource based on science, giving you the hands-on, applicable information that you need to know to take that nutrition information and put it on the plate.
And I'm sure it could also be applicable for someone like me who played his last game a long time ago. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
All right, more of the Next Level Urgent Care halftime show when we continue. This is VypeFortBend.com.
Hey, Fort Bend County fans, this is Bradley Stavinaw with Needville Insurance Agency.
Bradley is my insurance man. He can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every year on your car insurance, home insurance, or flood insurance, or all three like he did for me. And Bradley, you are as Fort Bend County as they come, right?
That's right, fourth generation here in the Needville area in Fort Bend County, taking care of folks over here for over 100 years here in Fort Bend County.
You can give him a call, you can go online, or he'll even come see you at the Needville Insurance Agency. Give him the number, Bradley.
979-793-7411.
Welcome to the Next Level Urgent Care Halftime Show. Glad to have you with us, and we're also glad to have Nate Yeske, the assistant coach for Texas A&M baseball, the pitching coach. And Coach Yeske, it's been kind of a whirlwind. You haven't been in College Station very long, but what a great year it was in 2022 to go all the way to the College World Series. How would you sum that up?
It's been an adjustment on many levels. I don't even think we've been here a full calendar year yet, but when you look at how those things really kind of unfolded, it was an exciting time for the kids, the players, the fans. Everybody was pretty excited with how things really kind of took shape, because we got out of a little bit of a slow start, and then by the time we got into conference play, things started to pick up, and then we started playing some of our best baseball at the end.
So you are part of head coach Jim Schlossnagel's staff, and the Aggies have a great pitching staff, and I think there are going to be some other guys added to the roster that'll make the Aggies even tougher to deal with next year. What's a little sneak preview for us of Aggie baseball in 2023?
Well, you'd like to see some of the returners continue to advance. I think Nathan Detmer made some good strides and certainly had some really quality games, especially last start against Notre Dame there in Omaha. Chris Cortez was a freshman right-hander that really did some neat things, has a good future ahead of him and a fast arm. Bradley Rudis was another freshman. Will Johnston was a sophomore. They're guys who I think took a step forward from where they were the previous year, and certainly for the high school kids, you never know what you're going to get that first year. It's all brand new to them. It's probably the biggest jump that they're going to make in their career, because they're kind of the guy at their high school, and then the following year they're playing against guys who might be a year away from playing in the big leagues, and in some cases even sooner.
We're talking with Nate Yeske, the assistant coach who's in charge of the pitching staff at Texas A&M, and I just wanted to let you know that the day I met you, there was a scout from another university who said that you are the pitcher whisperer. How do you feel about that moniker?
I suppose it's all right. It just depends on what I'm saying and what's being heard. But it boils down to the kids more so than what we do as coaches. Kids are coachable. Kids are open and receptive to things, and you try to establish relationships with those guys that go beyond the white lines. And I think that when you get guys' trust and you have a better understanding of what you need to do, and I think that opens itself up for opportunity for growth. And being able to have those conversations and advance some of those guys' games are why we do what we do. And I think for me personally, just being able to stay in the game, I've made some mistakes. I think as coaches we all do, and we learn from those things and have an opportunity to make those adjustments and kind of fail forward.
All right. We are looking very much forward to seeing how Justin Vasas does. He was a 4-year varsity starter at Ridgepoint. I know that not everybody who plays shortstop in high school ends up playing shortstop at the university level, but I can just tell you, no matter whether he does any pitching or not, which he probably won't, you'll be very glad he's on your ball club. I feel very safe in saying that.
Well, for sure. When Jim and I first got onto campus and started getting out to see the guys that were committed to us, he was one of the guys that we wanted to see right away. Anytime you got a guy that plays in the middle of the diamond, those guys are just different. They're built different. Their skill set that is required to play those positions is different. And we really enjoyed what we saw. Got to know him more when he was on his visit, and got a better sense of really kind of what gets him going. And I think that fits well with the Aggie fan base, because he's a hard-nosed kid. He's a blue-collar kid. He's very respectful and has a lot of ability. So he's got a lot of good makings for success, and we're excited to see what the future looks like for him.
That's Nate Yeske, the pitching coach for Texas A&M baseball. We thank you for being with us on the Next Level Urgent Care Halftime Show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back right after this. Equitable Advisors financial professionals know the path to a fulfilling future begins with getting to know who you are and what matters to you most. They work with people as individuals. That's how they deliver on their mission, just like Nick Arevalo, CFP. Talk to your local Equitable Advisor financial professional at 281-712-8777 or visit nickarevalo.com. That's NICKAREVALO.com. Together, you and my friend Nick can plan a future that reflects all of who you are. Equitable Advisors, LLC, New York, New York, member FINRA SIPC, investment advisory through Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. CFP is a certification mark owned by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, Incorporated. This mark is awarded to individuals who successfully complete the CFP Board's initial and ongoing certification requirements. Welcome back, everybody, to the Next Level Urgent Care halftime show. And if you're listening to this game, I'm sure you watch a lot of football games and you look at a lot of football fields. I hope you have enough curiosity in there to wonder, wow, that field looks awesome with the decorations, the lettering, the logos, the colors. Well, it didn't just get there by accident. And we're going to talk with someone during our Next Level Urgent Care halftime show who's in the business of making football fields look great for special occasions. He is Andre Dubois with World Class Athletic Surfaces out of Mississippi. And you're not the guy that makes the field. You don't manufacture field turf and lay that thing down, but once it is laid down, you make fields beautiful for a game. Tell us about your business.
Yes, my name's Andre Dubois. I'm with World Class Athletic Surfaces. What we do, we manufacture football field marking paint and stencils. And as we say, we make the game look better, is what we do.
Well, there's no question about it. And I have been curious enough about something to think about it, but until now I haven't really asked someone who's an expert about it. You can watch games in a high-profile venue. You watch one game on a Saturday, and the field is all decorated beautifully. And then the next day, you'll see another game in that same venue, and the field is totally different. And I wonder, do they have to bring in a bunch of water to scrub off the coloring? If it's an artificial surface, how do you do what you do?
Well, it's a lot of people come together to do all of this, and for artificial turf fields, like at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, that crew is absolutely awesome, and it's unbelievable the work they do in a weekend, because on the first weekend of October, they have the high school championship from Georgia game played there, and that's on Friday night, and it's painted with their logos, Georgia High School Coaches Show. And then that night, they take that off. Saturday is the Chick-fil-A, which is usually Alabama and somebody or Georgia and somebody. So they paint all the Chick-fil-A logos on there in the end zones. And then Saturday night, they take all that off. And then Sunday afternoon is an Atlanta Falcons game. So once they take all that off, they come back with the Atlanta Falcons stuff. So on your artificial turf fields now, it's easily to put a stencil down in the midfield on your 25-yard logo yard line, or even in your end zone, and turn around and take it off and change it up the next weekend.
All right, so your company sells paint that you can use on natural grass. You sell paint that you can use on the field turf stuff. But you not only sell those products, you also perform the service of getting rid of what's on the field, or do others do that?
No, sir. We don't actually go and take it off or apply it. Most every high school, college, and NFL team or Major League Baseball team has their stadium managers and a field crew. Sports Turf Managers Association, all these young guys, they come in and, they learn all this from several colleges around the country now, and they learn how to paint, how to grow grass, how to take care of it. It's gotten so complicated nowadays that it's all a science now. We manufacture it and deliver it. The Super Bowl, this past February, we had done the Super Bowl 24 years in a row. And of course, it goes from a natural grass field somewhere to the next year, it's artificial turf or something. So these guys come together and they apply the stencils and the paint and the lines and the numbers and all the stuff, and then the next day they take them all off.
Well, even though you don't actually do the changeover yourself, can you tell me, do they have to use a lot of water in order to make that happen?
On artificial turf fields, that we sell scrubbing machines, and you have to use our remover and a scrubbing machine to get this stuff off. You don't just wash it away with water, because you got to remember, on a regular football game, you have 6'4", 300-pound kids running around with cleats on, so it will not take all the paint off. So you have to come in there and scrub it, spray it and scrub it, and get it all off for the next game and get ready for whatever.
Okay, so it involves some water on the artificial surfaces, but not a large amount, because you don't want to get it soaking wet.
Yeah, no, you can't, soak it or whatever. And these scrubber machines will lay it down, and they have extractors on it to where they'll take any chips of paint out of the rubber, so your rubber comes back clean and color-free.
That blows my mind, Mr. Dubois. That's some cool stuff. Now, when it's natural grass, I know you can't have the same scrubbing machine for that, because there's dirt down there instead of rubber pellets. How does the process happen when it's grass?
Well, the good thing about natural grass is these guys, field managers and stadium managers, they paint for like LSU or Alabama or NC State or all the NFL teams. They'll come in and they'll paint on a Wednesday and a Thursday morning for a Saturday game. And the good thing about that is they start watering and fertilizing their field that Saturday night to try to grow it out. And then they start cutting grass Sunday, and that operation just steady turns over back to back, and then they come back again that next Wednesday if they have a home game, and then they paint again. That's why these fields, like, everybody that's a football fan knows the eye of the tiger in the center of LSU's field.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty.
Absolutely beautiful. The colors are just absolutely out of this world. Florida, the guy Jason at Florida does such a great job. Brandon Harden at Mississippi State University, he's gotten Field of the Year twice in the last 6 years. It's never been done before. So, without people realizing, when you cut the TV on Saturday at 11 o'clock and you see Notre Dame and somebody play, about 90% of the time it's our paint on the field, and people automatically go, man, that's a beautiful field right there, but they don't realize everything that goes into it.
By the way, I want to let the chief content editor of Vype magazine, Matt Malatesta, big LSU guy, your reference to the tiger in the middle of the field in Baton Rouge, that's going to cost Matt. I'll be thinking about just how much it should cost him. But I want to tell you, Mr. Dubois, I appreciate you telling us some of that inside football kind of knowledge of what happens to the field. So I guess sometimes when teams are partying after a victory, there are guys inside the stadium doing hard work under the dark of night.
Yep, and and everything is grass friendly, and it's great. Our paints are all great for the environment, and everything is VOC 0, and it just, this grass continues to grow, and it just looks great. And people don't realize, even all the way down to a high school level, how much work goes into, when you walk out there, you see white lines, you see numbers, you see a logo in the center of the field, or you see Tiger Paw at the end, or whatever, Philadelphia Eagles logo somewhere, or Green Bay in the center of the field. Somebody has to physically lay that out and paint it, which we manufactured the stencils that do all this, like at Texas A&M and all these other colleges. They lay these things out and paint them, and when you walk out there, everybody's just at all.
Well, there's one more question I want to ask you. This is Andre Dubois of World Class Athletic Surfaces. Did you get into some other business before you did this, or is this something that you learned about when you were still a very young man? What did you do that led you into this business?
We started out in the tennis court industry, actually in Houston, Texas. We played tennis. My oldest brother, it's a family business. We played tennis as young, and we came to Houston to work for the largest tennis court company in the world there. and we started out manufacturing tennis court coatings. And just by accident, Mississippi State was playing Alabama at 2 o'clock on an ABC game. Biggest game Mississippi State had ever had. They had a good team that year. Alabama was ranked #1 coming into the Mississippi State Stadium. And the guy called Tuesday and said the truck carriers that brings their paint was in a warehouse and on strike and could not get their paint. That was our first customer, Mississippi State. And they called and said, can you make us a maroon and a white? And we said, come to the plant. We'll figure out what we can do. And we made it happen by Thursday. He went back, painted his field. Saturday night, after the football game, his athletic director called him and said, Bart, whatever you did to our football field today, don't ever change again, because it looked absolutely breathtaking.
And the rest is history. Thank you, Andre Dubois. That is, you know, I do a lot of interviews, and I'm really excited about doing some, and some are kind of, they're okay. But this one was way more fascinating than I thought it would be, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for letting me be here.
All right, we'll be back with more of the Next Level Urgent Care halftime show. And thank you again, Andre Dubois, World-Class Athletic Surfaces. We'll be back.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I'm Gary Horn with Horn Solutions. We agree with energy analysts that the energy market has stabilized. We anticipate significant merger and acquisition activity. Good resources are scarce. Horn Solutions is positioned to assist you in accounting, finance, IT, and supply chain. Our staff can assist you with outsourcing, or we can supply you with resources to join your staff. Visit hornsolutions.net for details.
Gary Horn is a highly successful businessman who has made a huge impact in people's lives, and he loves what he does for a living. That's a big reason why Gary Horn and Horn Solutions support Get a Great Gig. Get a Great Gig is a free job search consultation service that will help you find a job you love, whether it's to make more money or get personal fulfillment in the career of your choice. Email them at getagreatgig@gmail.com or on Twitter at getgreatgigs.
There's a new school close to you, and it will make you a better volleyball player. It's the Volleyball School, not just in Katy now. They're open in Aliana and West Belford. Now Fort Bend volleyball players can raise their game to excel on their high school varsity and compete with the strongest club teams. It takes hard work to make most of your talent, but you already know that. Just know that the Volleyball School makes it fun. Log into thevolleyballschool.com or call 832-736-3191.
Tuesday night volleyball on VypeFortBend.com is presented by the Volleyball School. And Patrick, we've got an unusual situation coming up this Tuesday night. You got the match of the year in Class 5A Division 1. Well, I guess in volleyball it's neither Division 1 nor Division 2. It's just Class 5A and Region 3. Foster and Fulshire taking each other on. Fulshire is undefeated in their district volleyball matches, and Foster has lost only once, and that was to Fulshire the first time around. And I really wanted to broadcast that match, but KPRC, which is a partner of Vype, is doing a video stream presentation of that match. So I'm just going to go and watch.
You're going to love that.
And I'll get a post-game interview, or post-match interview, I should say, and then we'll use that in next week's football coverage. And does that sound like a plan to you?
It sure does sound like a plan. It sounds like other people will be able to watch that game on the video stream or whatever that is. The George Ranch Longhorns will be kicking off with the wind here. Started the second half. It's Michelle kicking with that left foot. It's going to be fielded by Fan. He called for a fair catch at the 12-yard line. You don't normally see a fair catch that far.
Yeah, but they put it at the 25 when you do that. It's just one of those player safety things.
Yeah, I understand that. I just was saying, typically when it goes deep, the guy runs it, but he elected for the safe play, and it's 1st and 10 for the Dulles Vikings at their own 25-yard line. Roger and I have both fortified ourselves with delicious ham sandwiches.
From Honey Baked Ham.
And I want to say...
oh, they're delicious.
I've got a couple more things to say about the lunch. If you'll indulge me here, here's the first play of the second half from scrimmage. Bird waits for the snap. He has it. Hands it off, and it's going to be a pile of men at the 24-yard line and no gain, loss of 1. I want to say a couple things about the ham sandwich. Number 1, it was very good. Number 2, whoever invented honey mustard should get an extra something because I love honey mustard. What a great flavor that is. And then thirdly, they topped off the lunch. It was a box lunch. Here's a 2nd down and 11 play for the Vikings. Handoff. No, fake handoff. Across the middle they go, and it's going to be an incomplete pass to Jarrett Mitchell, who looks like he's a little shaken up there. He's kind of holding his shoulder. Kind of his arm is dangling down a little bit. Might have jammed his shoulder or something there.
And you can't time the hit any better that Adrian Falkway did.
That was perfect.
Just got there right at the right moment.
So anyway, that box lunch was a delicious sandwich, some chips and so on. And how do you top off a little lunch better than with a chocolate chip cookie? What a way to have a lunch. Enough of that.
Mine was oatmeal raisin.
Oh, you had oatmeal raisin. I had chocolate chip. I love chocolate chip cookies. Well made. Here's Bird back to pass, being flushed out of the pocket. Now he has to go to a safety valve. Garza, who had it go through his hands, he was maybe a little surprised by the pass. Although I think I'm sure he thinks he should have caught that one.
I'm sure he does, but Bird kind of threw it behind him.
Yeah,
it was going to be a difficult catch. It was kind of a shared responsibility for the dropped pass.
And again, he was not probably really expecting it, and then anyway, it's an incomplete pass. 4th and 11 as the Longhorns come out doing what they needed to do, get that stop, and Coots is going to kick it. He's run into, but there's no call on that one. There's a fair catch call at the 45-yard line by Franklin. Russell Franklin did a good job of accepting the ball at the 45, knowing that they were going to get great field position, and the Longhorns, who, in my opinion, Roger, you can help me out if you. I thought they were a little bit flat in the first half. I don't know how you felt about it, but I'll see how they come out here in the second half. Certainly defensively, they came out strong. Let's see if the offense can match that on their first drive.
Patrick, all year long, I've felt like George Ranch is a schizophrenic team. They've looked so good at times and so inept at times. It's just kind of mysterious.
And then when I say they were flat, you got to give credit to the Vikings because they have had good energy in this game. Here's Drinkard, back to pass, being rushed. Has to get it off to the right side. He had a man coming open, Jones, but it was overthrown by about 3-4 yards. Great pressure put on him by, I believe that was Hezekiah Smith putting pressure on him.
Hezekiah. By the way, Hezekiah, you and I both have studied the Bible enough to know the books in the Old Testament. If somebody is marginally knowledgeable about Old Testament books, tell them to look up something from Hezekiah. They'll be busy for 15 minutes looking for it.
Right. And maybe not finding it. Here's a handoff. Inside Shelton. He's not going to get much. Maybe the line of scrimmage, and we see a penalty marker come flying in from the backside behind the play.
Well, we'll wait to see what this penalty is, but credit to both teams. We've had a fairly penalty-free
personal foul, face mask, defense number 35.
Ouch.
15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Down.
Speaking of Hezekiah, that was on Hezekiah Smith. Wasn't he the man who recovered that ball on the half-yard line at the end of the half?
I believe so.
And
but after that penalty, woe unto Hezekiah.
Yeah, woe. A big factor in the first half was the 3 turnovers by the Longhorns. Of course, that last turnover led to the easy, as Roger pointed out, the easy 4-inch touchdown run. as they fielded it at the half-yard line. Drinkard back to pass, rolling to his left. Now he goes, the ball fell out of his hand as he was trying to pass it. He scoops it up, rolls to his right, he completes it at the 23-yard line. What a play, and that is Odom on the reception. He was wide open, and what a play by Drinkard, who simply lost the ball on when he was cocking it back to throw it. To his credit, he got on it on the scoop, rolled to his right, and found Odom wide open.
Also credit to his offensive lineman to avoid going downfield that many seconds into the play. It probably took at least 10 seconds for him to pick it up and fire it.
That was one of those weird plays where the ball just fell out of his hands on his attempted throw. He's got 3 receivers to his left, Shelton to his left in the backfield. And it's going to be a handoff to Shelton to the right side. Finds the 20. He's got room. 15, 10. He might go. He's to the 5. He's pushed out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. And it looks like he was pushed out of bounds by Justin Ofoma.
By the way, we've got a 21-7 score right now. Of course, it looks like it's about to change. And you mentioned that Dulles got the cheap touchdown on the 4-inch one-play drive. Right. Yes, they did, but the George Ranch offense hasn't produced anything. They got their touchdown on a kickoff return.
You are right about that. I forgot that was how they scored that long touchdown return by McGuire.
We may have to stand up to see what happens.
Yeah, we got a little obstructions here. Here's a 1st and goal now. Drinkard under center. He's got a powerhouse backfielder behind him. Handoff, Shelton with 2 bleed blockers, and he's to the goal line, and he's in. Longhorns have come out of the locker room stomping and grunting and groaning, and they have got the first offensive touchdown of the game for them.
And you know, the first half they were just bellowing. That's all.
That's right. They were all noise and no production. Now they got some production as they come on for the extra point. David Michelle is going to left foot it through. If he can get it through, it'll be a 7-point game. As the Longhorns come out with some purpose here in the 3rd quarter. Here's the snap. It's a good one. It's placed down nicely. The kick is up, and it is good. We'll take a timeout with just under 10 to play. The score now, Dulles 21 and George Ranch 14.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's discuss a very real existential threat to internet speed. It's a big one. Ready? T-Mobile Home Internet. It lags. Now, what is lag? Lag is a delay in data being transmitted across the internet. For example, you're hitting that hot drop, the parachute cuts out, you've got an unsuspecting bot in your sights, and lag! You were actually eliminated 10 seconds ago. Nobody deserves that. So stop letting T-Mobile Home Internet ruin everything and switch to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Get an amazing value on Xfinity Internet with unlimited data included. Switch for $55 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract required and no equipment fees for 24 months. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay. Ends 10/17/22. Restrictions apply. New fast internet and xFi Complete customers only. xFi Gateway required. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
Welcome back. Saturday matinee football. We'll have a game tonight. Ridge Point against Austin, 5:40 p.m. for the Equitable Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show. But folks, Patrick, they better enjoy Saturday football because they won't get any next week. Neither one of us is available to do a Saturday broadcast.
Well, that's one of those things. Just happens.
They're going to miss us.
Schedule just dictates what we got to do. Here's Coots' kick.
No, that's Michelle.
I said Michelle. I'm sorry, Michelle. I had the wrong team. And Cotton takes the kick, the fair catch. So Cotton kicks it deep. Or Michelle, I'm sorry. Michelle kicks it deep, and Cotton receives it. And the Vikings will get the ball at their own 25. I'll get these names right here. Get myself squared away.
So you remember when there was a big box store called Builders Square?
Yes.
And Al Michaels did the voiceovers on their commercials, and he said, Builders Square, we'll get you squared away.
I'm trying to square myself away right
Home
here.
Depot and Lowe's kind of ate them up with a little assistance from Ace Hardware.
Here come the Vikings with a 7-point lead. Handoff. Fumble! Who's got it? I think it's going to be recovered by the Vikings. As Ross didn't quite get the grip of the ball, and it came out of there at the exchange. And a loss of a yard, they're lucky to get it back.
Ross recovers the fumble.
Ross struggled to get it back. He kind of was on his knees scrambling. The last time the Longhorns scored, the Vikings were able to answer, but let's see what they can do now. It's second down and looks like 11 yards to go. They have done nothing on offense here in the third quarter so far. Here's the handoff. Hodges gets one here. Right side, he's going to get beyond the 25 to the 28-yard line. It'll be third down and 7 for the Vikings.
We haven't called Cole Hodges' name that often since the first series when he ran for double-figure yardage on his first 2 carries.
Yeah, he got stuffed for a while, a couple of plays after the initial good start, and then it's been Ross and others. Samazi's got a couple carries as well. And right now Hodges is in there. I think they got 2 backs to the backfield behind Bird. He's back to pass, rolling to his right. Now he's going to try to run for it. He's going to be short of the first down as he's driven out of bounds by
Odiekpo. I hope you don't mind me jumping in.
I do not mind that at all, Roger. He got to the 30, so it's 5 yards short of the first down. Once Bird decided to run, the pursuit got him quickly, and it's a punting situation for the Vikings. And now here come the Longhorns. They got a chance to tie here as the clock shows 8:32 to play in the third quarter. Longhorns have dominated the early part of the second half. Coots is going to kick it. It's a line drive, end over ender, and it bounces at about the 40, rolls inside the 30, and it's going to stop at the 25 as Franklin decided to let it roll and not take any chances. Longhorns will get the ball at the 25, their own 25, trailing by 7.
47-yard punt with no return. A great job by Coots. He was kind of doing the rugby-style punt where he was moving to his left and forward, and then he punted it back diagonally the other way. And to be honest, Russell Franklin really wasn't expecting him to punt it that direction, and by the time he ran over there to it, the coverage had converged and they couldn't do anything.
So they do get the ball, though, at the 25-yard line. Starting this drive, trailing by 7. They were down by 14 at halftime, so they're making progress here. Here's Drinkard, shotgun formation with Shelton to his left. Counter play, Shelton comes back to the right. He's strung out to the 25. He's got some room now, 30, 35, still going beyond the 40, where he's finally ridden out of bounds by, is that Mitchell? These numbers are scrunching up, but it's hard to know who some of these numbers are, but I think it was Mitchell who got him out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Looks like a 19-yard gain, and the Longhorns look like a different team.
You know what it was? It was a first down, which means you should think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com.
3 receivers to the right now, 1 to the left. Drinkard has Shelton flanking him, and he hands it off to Shelton. 45-50, inside the 50, another nice gain. The linemen for George Ranch, I think they must have had a ham sandwich at halftime because they got a lot of energy blowing some holes open for the runners here, and Shelton's having some fun running through these holes.
On the left side of the line, you got Hansla Rana, and you also have Eric Dominguez, and they completely shut down the defensive right side.
It'll be a gain of 9 for Shelton, whose last couple plays has gotten, 28 yards. Shelton again now, right side. Bounces to the outside, 45, inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Another first down for the Longhorns, and they don't look flat here coming into the second half.
No, they don't. They probably got a tongue lashing from Coach Nick Cavallo in the locker room at halftime. And on the old film of Super Bowl 4 where they mic'd up Hank Stram and he said, there was too much leakage on that play, too much leakage. Well, there's too much leakage allowed by the Dulles defense. Everybody's getting blocked.
Do you think the Longhorns are matriculating themselves
down
the field?
They are matriculating the ball down the field, and Dulles better get right.
And Hank Stram had a sport coat on that day, and here's a handoff. This is to Drinkard, the brother. Hayden's got it inside the 30, inside the 25-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 14, 15 more yards.
Well, I hate
for the
to
Longhorns.
say it. I'm very reluctant to say it, but The Dulles defense is getting gashed on this particular drive.
Yeah, they need to, without a pun intended, they need to right the ship.
Yes.
The Viking ship, because they're getting gouged right now.
They're getting gored by the Longhorns.
Oh, boy. Fake handoff. Drinkard keeps it himself. He's got room inside the 15, close to another first down. I think he's got another first down. He faked it to his brother Hayden, and then Drinkard kept it himself, and Bailey was in on the tackle. And then Afoma was in there as well. But it's another first down for the Longhorns. Is that only 5 plays in this drive?
Exactly right.
But every play has been a running.
Double figures yardage, I believe, on just about every snap.
I think maybe one play was
maybe not.
I think they had one play for 9 yards. It was 19, 9, 15, another 10. They're on their way. They're knocking on the door at the 12-yard line.
They're banging on the door.
Yeah. He's got Drinkard, his brother, behind him. Fake handoff, rolls to his left, looking into the end zone. Penalty marker on the play. Intercepted in the end zone. He comes out of there with it. And that is going to be Mitchell. He's had a great game, but there's a penalty marker on the play. It looks like it could be in the area of holding, but let's find out.
Holding.
It is. Now we have another penalty marker after the play. Could that be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, Roger?
Probably. It happened so long after the play had concluded.
The interception is going to stand.
Intercepted by number 0, Jarrett Mitchell. Mitchell's return was, the tackle was by quarterback.
Mitchell had great position to intercept that ball, and it was an ill-advised pass by Drinkard there. I think he forced it a little bit, and the referees are huddling it up at the 22 to come up with the final penalty situation. I think Roger and I both suspect a post-play unsportsmanlike conduct call here coming against the Vikings, but let's find out for sure.
The microphone's not working, but it is unsportsmanlike conduct against the Vikings.
So they didn't.
Now it's working when he doesn't need to say anything.
Maybe he reversed it. He probably turned it off. And then, well, the ball's going to be marked at the 4-yard line, so the Vikings would have had, about the 20-yard line they would have been, but that penalty marches them back to the 4. They dodged a bit of a bullet there, intercepting the ball in the end zone. That's the 4th turnover for the Longhorns. And, they were running the ball so well. Roger had mentioned several double-digit yardage carries. Seems like you ought to just keep running that ball, but I guess they're trying to cross them up. Here's a handoff up the middle, and I'm not sure who the guy is.
I think that's Ross in there.
Is that Ross in there, or is it Samazi? It was Samazi, actually, who got that carry, and he was able to fight his way for about 4 yards. Well, the PA guy says Ross, but I thought it was 7 who had it. Anyway, they got about 4 yards on the play. Second down and 6 yards to go for the Vikings as the clock winds to the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Bird is under center. Now he's up, maybe changing the play here. He's got 2 backs behind him, 1 receiver flanked to the left. Handoff. Up the middle he goes. And it's going to be close to a first down. That's Samazi again as he darted through the hole.
Brought down by Longhorn number 42, Diego Ramirez.
It'll be 3rd down and 1 yard to go as the Vikings have showed a little muscle here on these last couple plays running the ball. Quickly to the line now, Bird. He'll hand it off or pitch it to Hodges, and Hodges is going to get that first down beyond the 15-yard line.
That's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. And now we got one of the Vikings players is upset, and that's the lineman Jonah Talamantes. And I guess he was thinking that someone on defense grabbed his face mask.
Well, what happened was as the play was ending, he was trying to block a guy or whatever, and then the blocker just flung him to the ground, sort of as the play was ending, and then he was barking back at him, and he's lucky he didn't get an unsportsmanlike penalty there. Handoff looks like Samazi again, but he slips a little bit at the. Oh! Our man is going at it again. He's about ready to get a penalty. I'm so surprised he's not just.
Yeah, he
might
jumped
be kicked out of the ball game the way he's acting here.
Yeah, he jumped on top of Diego Ramirez.
You almost think you ought to take him out of the ball game just to settle him down.
Yeah, and the Vikings are lucky that he hasn't been tossed.
Well, I thought he was going to get a penalty on that play. There he comes out of the ball game. Smart play, smart move by Coach Bird there. Calm him down a little bit. Get a drink of water, and you don't know what's going on in there. There's a lot of stuff going on in the pile. Here's Hodges with a handoff through the right side. He's got the 20, and he's beyond the 20 to about the 22. And there's a lot of energy out there on both sides.
George Ranch had a possession that started at their 1 yard line. They moved the ball 66 yards, but they could not finish the drive. That would have been a 99-yard touchdown drive. Dulles had an opportunity for a 98-yard touchdown drive, didn't complete that in the first half.
I thought Dulles did on that long. Remember that long touchdown?
Oh, it was a touchdown.
Yeah, they
drive.
did a touchdown on that. That long touchdown to Adarumboy.
You are quite correct.
Here's
Thank
Hodges
you.
trying to get that first down. The way they're marking it, it might be. He had to get to the 26, and I see some official foot marks or footprints close to that 26-yard line, but there's a pile of guys there. We can't really see where the ball is. It's going to be, let's see, what are they going to do here? It's
going to be real close. George Ranch players are indicating they don't think it's a first down. I think it is.
It sure looks like it's going to be darn close. It could be one of those the nose of the football type things.
And even if it's not, it's third down anyway. They are going to bring the sticks out and measure it. It's either going to be a first down, it'll be third and
I thought it
3
was
or 4
third
inches.
Down right there. I thought that was third down.
Well, maybe you're right, but the scoreboard and the down box say it's third down right now.
This change have been brought out, and they are short by about 5 links. Oh, boy. Now, if it's fourth down, would you risk it?
It is fourth. They have switched the down box. I would risk it, but I have a feeling that
Roger,
Coach Bird, because they're up 7 and they're in their own end,
but
they'll probably
they
punt.
Brought in Jarrett Mitchell. Remember the last one time they ran that power formation and they snapped it right to Mitchell and he's able to get through there easily. They might be doing that type of play again.
Well, Coots isn't on the field.
You got Hezekiah Smith as a lead blocker. You got Garza as a lead blocker. I think they're going to run that power formation. That's the indication anyway.
Go for it.
They're going to go for it, I think.
I like it.
Either that or they're going to try to draw them off. It's fourth down and less than a half a yard. And it's going to be that power formation with those 2 lead blockers, Smith and Garza, and then you got Mitchell behind him. Hand off to Mitchell. He bellies outside. He got the first down, and he's got more. When he went out to the outside, I thought maybe he might have risked getting that first down. But he had enough speed and tenacity to get that first down. They got another first down, Roger. They're holding on to that ball.
You know, Dikpo kind of reached out and pulled his legs out from under him. If he hadn't made that play, I think he might have kept running.
Yeah, because sometimes in those short plays, you got so many people at the line of scrimmage. If you break that line, the rest of the players aren't there to make the tackle. First down for the Vikings is exactly what they needed to hold the ball and make some plays. Here's Bird. He's going down deep. Adarumboy was the intended receiver, but I'm not sure if the route and the pass were.
Well, he looked back for the ball, but I think that Bird delivered it before he expected it to come his way.
Yeah.
And the ball was kind of lofted, and he was looking at ground level for the ball.
Yeah, they're just a little out of sync on that. But it was a good effort. It's second down and 10 now for the Vikings from their own 29. We're under 2 to play here in the third quarter. Vikings hanging on to that 7-point lead, 21-14. Hodges, left side, finds a little room, fighting hard, but he's only going to get to the 30. That'll be a gain of 1 yard, so it'll be third down and 9 for the Vikings. McGuire in there on the tackle, among others.
Gain of 1 on the play.
By the way, the Vikings have kept the ball 9 plays and advanced 26 yards.
Yeah.
And they've used over 4 minutes of clock time. In fact, 4.5 minutes.
It's amazing how, when you do a lot of running, how that clock just really gets eaten up. And this is a big play for both teams here. From the 30, the Vikings, who have that 7-point lead, trying to keep the ball, and the Longhorns trying to get it back. Here's Bird back to pass right side. He's going to have out of the run boy there, but it was tipped away. Nice play by Akins.
Yeah, he's like Clay Aiken, one of the champions of what's that Fox show? It used to be Fox. It was the big music contest. How things fade in popularity.
I'm not sure.
American Idol, that's it.
Oh, I was never into that stuff. Never into that. I just never got interested
Clay
in it.
Aiken was the winner, I think, the second season.
Here's
maybe.
Coots now going to punt it. Left footer. That's a good looking
Oh,
punt
that's
into
a
the
beauty.
wind. Over the head and rolling again. This time Franklin receives it off the bounce and he runs to the right side and he saves his team about 20 yards on that. Nice play by Franklin. The ball was over his head, took a big bounce. He retrieved it, picked it up off that big bounce and just ran up the right side for a nice return, and it'll be a good field position for the Longhorns.
And another Longhorn who saved his team some yardage was Kevin Odikpo. He was very agile in avoiding what could have been called a blindside block or a block in the back. You know, he stood up and made sure he didn't make contact with, I think, one of the Vikings who was cleverly trying to make it look like he was getting blocked in the
Trying
back.
to bait him into it. It's
baiting him, yes.
Mark at the 38-yard line. The last time the Longhorns had the ball, they were moving it smartly up the field until that interception. And let's see if they can continue that offensive momentum. Man in motion, Jones. Now Drinkard back to pass, rolling to his right. He's still now out of the pocket. He's going to run it 40, and he's going to get out of bounds at around the 42-yard line where the clock stops with 45 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Don't forget now, Roger's going to be right back here later tonight, solo, Ridge Point in Austin, I believe. And Roger's going to have that all set up for you.
By the way, do you think of that song, My Favorite Things, as a Christmas song?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, well, I've got one of your not-so-favorite things going on in the end zone, or behind it, the cheerleaders from both schools palling around and playing in their little trust circle or whatever.
I just thought it's an interesting ritual. Here's the handoff, Shelton, right side. Bounces off some tacklers, and he gets up to the 46, where he's tattooed to the ground.
Well, something just hit me, and you know, we try to set up a spirit of contentiousness and competition. You want rivalry, and that's why we do the trash-talking cheerleaders segments in our Countdown to Kickoff show. And it flies in the face of the enmity and rivalry and disdain for the other team when you just get together and do your little hand jive
that's
games.
True. 3rd down and 2. Big play here for the Longhorns. Drinkard, hands off to Drinkard. He's got the 50. Still going. 45. Ball loose. It's on the ground. Who's got it? Drinkard might have recovered it for the Longhorns, but I think it came out of there again, and I think the Vikings have it. Is it Richard who recovered it? Number 1, Richard. Oh, my goodness. Another great run. Ball comes out. It came out of there about 8 yards out of the pile, and about 3 or 4 guys had a chance for it, including the quarterback, Drinkard. He came all the way downfield to try to recover it. He couldn't get it, and then Richard ended up on it.
It was over pretty close to the right hash mark when he fumbled, and it got kicked sideways. I think the ball was at least 25 yards away from where it was fumbled before Richard finally came up with it.
And it was a really good play for the Longhorns. They had a first down, and Hayden Drinkard was running it well. I don't know if it got punched away or how he lost it, but that is the 5th turnover for the Longhorns. That is a big story in this game. Handoff Hodges. Right side. He's going to plow his way. He's still going all the way to the 39-yard line. And that's the last play of the third quarter. We'll take a break. End of 3 from Mercer. Dulles 21, George Ranch 14.
Equitable Advisors financial professionals know the path to a fulfilling future begins with getting to know who you are and what matters to you most. They work with people as individuals. That's how they deliver on their mission, just like Nick Arevalo, CFP. Talk to your local Equitable Advisor financial professional at 281-712-8777 or visit nickarevalo.com. That's NICKAREVALO.com. Together, you and my friend Nick can plan a future that reflects all of who you are. Equitable Advisors, LLC, New York, New York, member FINRA SIPC, investment advisory through Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. CFP is a certification mark owned by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, Incorporated. This mark is awarded to individuals who successfully complete the CFP Board's initial and ongoing certification requirements.
As we start this fourth quarter, I'm going to add a couple of personal notes because my family and I have never lived inside the Dulles attendance zone, but we spent a lot of time in Meadows Place youth baseball and also the Meadows Marlins swim team. We've made so many friends in the Dulles area. I'm seeing a lot of them in the sunshine today.
Here's the pitch to Hodges on 2nd and 4, and he's got the first down all the way to the 45-yard line. He had a 6-yard carry prior to that, and there's about a 7-yard carry. Hodges started the game pretty well. Then he hit kind of a brick wall for a couple of runs. He came out, and now he's back in. I wonder if it's designed that way. We keep guys fresh. I'm not sure, but Hodges looked good on that run, and they're getting some good blocking from the line here. 1st and 10 for the Dulles Vikings. Bird has guys shifting. Now he's got two guys behind him. There's Hodges to the left, and he's not going anywhere this time. He's tackled right away at the line of scrimmage. And Trent Turner, linebacker, was in on that tackle.
Turner really closed that hole quickly. So it's 2nd and 9. I also want to say hello to Jimmy Fenwick. I've seen him today, but he hasn't seen me, or at least he hasn't recognized me. He's a Methodist minister, and he and his wife had several kids who swam with the Meadows Marlins. I know his son is in the band right now, and that's just one of many. I'll have others to mention.
2nd down and 9. Handoff up the middle. Is it Samazi? I believe it's Samazi. He's approaching the 50-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 49. By the way, you mentioned the bands. Before you go on with your list, both bands, again, were outstanding at halftime, and I have been really impressed with the bands in our games that we've been doing this year, and credit to the directors and all those support people. They really do a good job, and Roger will continue with his list after this play of people he's seen here or he wants to acknowledge. Here's a 3rd and 5. Hodges makes a great cut up the middle. Now he goes. He's got the 45 inside the 40 to about the 37. Hodges, after a little bit of a break in the second quarter at least, showing a lot of life here in the fourth quarter. 1st down Vikings.
He's a pretty tall kid, and I like that hand on the ground move that extended the play another 4 yards or so.
Yep.
I agree with you of what you said on the bands. They just sound fantastic, and whenever we have our halftime guest doing the interview, we like to bring the band sound up underneath them, and I've talked too much. Go ahead.
1st and 10 Vikings at the Longhorn 37. Hodges again. This time he's picked up and pile drive down. Is that number 21 again? That's Turner. That's his 2nd tackle in a couple of plays where he's done a great job. And that's going to be a no gain for Hodges. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at the 37-yard line of the Longhorns. If they could get another touchdown in here, they would really be in great position for the W. They got
Thad Olive.
Still. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Thad Olive is a police officer. I think he's retired from West University Police Department. Had 2 boys that played in Sugar Land Little League. We enjoyed being friends with them.
Hand off Hodges, right side. He is going to get beyond the 35 to about the 32-yard line. That's a pickup of 5 yards. Seems like every other play is he's getting some positive yards at least. And here comes Ross in the game for Hodges, giving him a little break. 3rd down and 5. I think they probably are in 4-down territory here. Would you say, Roger?
I would say so. They're too close to punt, too far out for a Coots field goal. Yeah, four down territory.
Unless
for sure.
it's a bad loss, a big loss
Oh,
play.
yeah.
But if they get a couple of yards here, I think they're going to try to go for it. They got a tight power formation. Pitch to Ross. He tries to get through there and nothing doing that time. Boy, oh boy, the Longhorns were all over that one, including Mays, Brandon Mays, and a few others were down in there. Adams, Chase Adams.
As well as Brandon Mays, number 32.
It'll be no gain. In fact, a loss of a yard. It'll be 4th and 6 for the Vikings.
They could line up in the usual spread formation, have Case and Bird take a couple of steps backwards, and then have him do one of those directional pooch punts.
Yeah, pin him deep.
Maybe.
It's a possibility.
But I hope they throw it down the field.
I think they're going to, well, he's doing kind of what you said. He's in a shotgun. Maybe he's going to pooch it. We'll see. He's not. He's going to pass it. He's back to pass, looking down the field. He's got a man there. At a run, boy. Oh, he overthrew him by a half a yard. At a run, boy was about ready to make his second touchdown catch. He might have got his fingernail on it. I'm not sure, but he was there. It just overshot him barely. Maybe that wind caught it a little bit and carried it a little bit too far, but whoa, close, and a sigh of relief from the Longhorn side.
Well, the Vikings moved the ball 35 yards. They kept it for 8 plays, but they don't get anything out of it. And now we've got 7:36 to go, and George Ranch trailing by 7.
And George Ranch, if they can just hang on to the ball, maybe they could get some positives. They got 5 turnovers here today. Here's Drinkard, back to pass, screen pass, set up beautifully, but what a play by Mitchell. Oh my goodness. He had 3 blockers out there ahead of him. He was going to go a long way, but then Mitchell was able to get inside the blockers and trip him up. And Sheldon's down there hurt, shaken up, and maybe is this time for a short break, Roger?
I was just going to say a couple other things.
Here we go.
So if Sheldon is unable to play for a while, it would be a big loss for the offense of George Ranch. Okay, so I went too fast on one of these. Thad Olive is a police officer, and his 2 boys played in Sugar Land Little League. And I believe Lucas, his younger boy, played as a catcher for the Dulles Vikings in baseball. And there's another lady I know, I think her name is Laura Garcia, and when she was a mom of some little kids on the Meadows Marlins team, her younger brother, Brian Schroeder, was the best swimmer in the history of Marlins swimming. You know, he just owned all of the records. And I think he went out to University of Texas Permian Basin. So when you come to a night game, you see some folks if they're in your close proximity. But when you have a game where the sunshine is bright and you see everybody, all of a sudden it's like a homecoming, even though this is not the Vikings' homecoming game.
And Shelton is up. He walking off on his own. That's good to see. Looks like he'll be back in the game with a little bit of a rest, and the play ended up being a 2-yard gain. Looked like it was going to be set up for a big game, but Mitchell was able to squelch that with a beautiful tackle. One thing I have realized, I've known this for a while, but you're solidifying it, Roger. You know a lot of people.
Well, I'm old.
Man, oh man.
I've met a lot of people.
I don't know if I could rattle off that many names. Drinkard, shotgun, rolling to his right, looking downfield to the right side. He's got a pass there. Is it called? Almost a great catch by Odom, who had to stop in his tracks, come back to it. It was a little bit behind him. He was trying to throw on the run, and he kind of misfired that one.
And one other thing about Meadows Marlins, it's in the summertime. It's a 6-week season, and Laura Garcia was one of the most avid runners I ever remember. When her kids were in the pool getting practice, she would go run. I'm not running. I used to run. I wonder if she's still running.
Well, that's a good question.
You could ask Michael McDonald, because it keeps you running.
3rd and 8, Drinkard back to pass. Now he's being flushed out of the pocket. He might run. No, he stopped. Now he pumps it, and now he's running. So he faked his defenders out with a fake pump that he was going to throw it, and he's able to get the first down to the 45-yard line. Good play by Drinkard to get that first down. That's another first down for the Longhorns.
He had an idea to throw it to Russell Franklin. He was kind of eyeing him and maybe trying to point, but he was running too quickly to this sideline, and Franklin was basically on the opposite hash mark way down the field.
It would have been a tough pass because he's rolling one way and having to pass it back the other. Drinkard in the pistol formation. Behind him is Randall. Now Randall's to his left. It's going to be a handoff to Randall. Right side, and he's plowed under. Whoa, my goodness. Including Richard. Travion Richard. Whoa, he had that shoulder pad in there, and he was making a great tackle along with Ofoma.
Travion Richard, number 11, Justin Ofoma.
So what a job by the Vikings on that play. They're going to give him a loss of about a yard on that. Second down and 11 from their own 44, and the clock now becoming a factor. 6:50 to play in a ball game. Longhorns have all 3 timeouts, and so do the Vikings. Longhorns have had the only touchdown here in the second half on their first drive of the second half. They had a good drive going after that, but then through the interception. Drinkard now floating to his left, looking downfield middle. He's got a man. He's open at the 15. It's caught. It's caught by Franklin. And he's inside the 10-yard line to about the 8. What a pass by Drinkard. Saving the touchdown is Fan. He was a little behind the receiver. He's able to keep him out of the end zone, but a big play for the Longhorns.
And that's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com. George Ranch fans, there is First Tire and Auto at the entrance to Greatwood. Go there.
If you need to.
Yeah.
Here's Drinkard. Pistol formation. He's got his brother behind him. Hand off. Hayden to about the 5. Give credit to that offensive line on that long pass play because Drinkard had lots of time to survey the field, and he ended up coming down with a good pass to Franklin. We got a swarm of trainers going out on the field. Here's looks like one of the Vikings is down. I can't tell who it is. We'll be back to tell you what's going on. It's 21-14 Vikings.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community, open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugar Land, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From OW to WOW, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent
Care.
Care.
Now was TJ Chateau for the Vikings. He was able to get up and walk off on his own. That's good to see. I would imagine he'll be back in the ball game. The ball's at the 6. Second and goal now for the Longhorns from the 6. You got a big Cody Ford is in the backfield along with the runner. Drinkard under center. He's going to hand it off. No, he's going to fake it. Pass is off the hand of Cody Ford. He came out of the backfield. He was at the goal line, and he got the left hand on it, but just couldn't reel it in.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say George Ranch gets no gain on this particular play. We're at 5:19 to go. You're down 7. Is it 4-down territory, or do you kick a field goal and try to get another chance later?
Oh, boy. That's a good question.
You still need a touchdown if you kick a field goal, even if you make it.
Yeah,
you still need a touchdown.
You almost feel like you should just go ahead and go for it, I guess. Here's you got the big powerhouse backfield in there again. Hand off. Up the middle to the right side. Shelton with lead blockers, and he's stoned at about the 3-yard line. Looked like he had plenty of room, and then tacklers for the Vikings were there, and we're going to get our answer here. It looks like the Longhorns are calling timeout. Short break, 5 minutes to play. 21-14 Vikings.
There is nothing spooky about these spectacular specials at First Tire and Automotive. Save $50 off 2 tires and $100 off 4 tires with the purchase of a premium installation package. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Cannot be combined with any other offers. And if your battery seems to be ghosting you, save 15% on AC Delco batteries. Check out the website firsttireandauto.com for details and to book your appointment today. First Tire and Automotive with 4 convenient locations in Sugar Land and Cinco Ranch. firsttireandauto.com.
Give us a call. Honey Baked Hams, thanks once again.
We will have Thursday and Friday football next week, but no Saturday action because Patrick and I have both got to go out of town. We're both going in the same general directions, but you say you're going to San Antonio?
San Antonio for a wedding.
I'm going to New Braunfels to meet my son's in-laws.
Well, here they are in that power formation again. You got Bird along with another blocker, Shelton behind him. From the 3-yard line, 4th and 3, fake handoff. Drinkard now rolling to his right, left. He's going to try for the end zone. I think he's got it. Touchdown, Longhorns, as Drinkard didn't see what he wanted on the right side. He ran to his left, and he found the end zone. Good job by Drinkard to get into the end zone, and we're only a point away from tie here.
In for the point after touchdown kick, number 7,
Michelle.
Michael.
Well, now the PA guy called him Michael. Roger?
Okay, well,
So I don't know. It's either Michael or
Well,
Michelle.
he's not a Dulles kid. I know Mark Rosenbaum knows all the Dulles kids.
Here's the extra point attempt, which would tie the game with 4:57 to play. Snap is good. Hold is down. It's up, and it is. Wow, it kind of veered a little bit to the left, but it was
starting to leak, baby, leak. But
and
it
it's
didn't.
a tie score, 21-all.
This
what kind of
is
a drive was that, Roger?
It's an Archer Volkswagen touchdown scoring drive, and it takes 9 plays. It goes 67 yards, takes 2 minutes 39 seconds off the clock, and the brilliant scramble run by Drinkard gets George Ranch into the end zone. We've got a tie game, and we'll take this break. 21-all.
Archer Volkswagen showroom is open, and our team's excited to help you. Visit our sales department Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Or bring your car in for service from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're closed on Sundays to rest and recharge with our families, so we can serve you well through the week. We hope to see you soon.
Back here at Mercer, we have a new score, 21-21. We're starting over here in the fourth quarter with 4:57 to play. The Longhorns have fought back. They were down 21-7 at half, and they've scored the 2 touchdowns here in the second half, and the Vikings have yet to put any points on the board, although they were close the last time they had it. They almost had a touchdown pass to Adarunboy, but they were a little bit long on the pass. The Longhorns came back with a long drive to tie it up. Michelle with the kick high, and a fair catch called for at the 12-yard line. The Vikings will get the ball at their own 25, and a fair catch was made by Fan. So now the Vikings, who have moved the ball fairly well today at times, for the most part, they're going to need a drive now. Under 5 to play.
All Fort Bend County High School sports.
Here is something to think about. The wind, I've noticed down on the surface, seems to be blowing harder than it is at the top of the flagpoles, but it's behind the Vikings, and Tim Coots might get a chance to kick a game winner.
Well, you might be right about that. Here's a handoff. Hodges is able to keep the feet moving, the legs churning for a 4-yard gain to the 29. The Vikings would love to see a nice 4-minute sustained drive, getting them into some sort of at least field goal range, and maybe put the points on the board as the clock winds down. Of course, the Longhorns want to get that ball back and do the same thing. Very exciting game here today.
Yes. I had the 63-0 Marshall win over Willow Ridge on Thursday by myself, Patrick.
We had a good game last night, too, and then here's a handoff. Hodges, right side. He's going to get close to that first down, but he's going to be a yard short. They're going to mark it at the 33. It looked like he got to the 34. No, it's at the 34, so it's 3rd down and 1.
Oh, and they don't want to give it back to George Ranch right now.
No, they've got to, if you're the Vikings, obviously you want to keep that ball. And then Longhorns have pretty good momentum on offense. They've been moving the ball pretty well in the second half. 3rd and 1. Bird is in the shotgun. Pistol behind him. The runner. He's going to pass. It's incomplete.
He never looked back for it.
I'm really surprised by that. And the receiver, was it Marvin Thomas?
He never looked back for it.
He looked to the sidelines with arms out. That expression of, I don't know what just happened. And now it's 4th down and 1. Are they they're gonna go for it, Roger?
I don't think so. I see Case and Bird has come off the field.
Yeah, but it could be that direct snap to Mitchell.
It could be.
I think that's what they're gonna do. It's that power formation, direct snap to Mitchell. Every time I've seen this play, nobody's been able to stop it. Let's see if they can stop him here. Here's Mitchell plowing. He's got the first down. That extra second effort got it because he was hit in front of the line to gain. And that little extra burst gave him the extra yard. What a collision that was.
That's a first down. Think of First Tire and Automotive for all your car care needs. Check them out at firsttireandauto.com.
Deep breath from the Viking sideline because
that would have been not so great for Dulles if he hadn't made it.
No, would not have been. Bird has the shotgun snap, hands it off. Hodges, nothing there. He's going to be swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Clock winds, under 3 to play here in the ball game.
They'll probably have to throw the ball a couple of times to get down the field if they keep running it at this rate. Even if they make first downs every 3 plays, it won't get them there.
Well, I remember the last series we had, they had gotten, like 30 yards, and they had run off 5 minutes off the clock or something. Because they're just running the ball. It's 2.5 to play here, and it's 2nd down and 10. Vikings at their own 35. Bird rolls to the right. Here's that pass. Down the field he goes, but it's thrown out of bounds. Nobody really had a chance. Penalty marker in the middle of the pile of linemen and defensive linemen, and it might be a play or a penalty against the Vikings.
Henry Chukwu was really putting some heavy pressure on Bird before he let that ball go.
Here's a question. If it is a penalty against the Vikings, would you take it or would you stay with 3rd down here?
I would take it.
They're talking about it because it's either going to be 3rd and 10 or 2nd and maybe 20. Here's the call. They're going to march it back.
Holding, offense number 52, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
So you said you'd take it, and they did that, and it's 2nd down and about 20 for the Vikings with 2:27 to play. A precarious situation now for the Vikings. Longhorns licking their chops here on this 2nd and long play. Tied at 21. It's been a very entertaining game. It's been fun to watch. Here's Bird waiting for the snap. He's got it. Back to pass. Pump fakes. Going deep. It's down the right side. And a run, boy. Oh, he had it go through his hands. That might have been a little deflected by their defender there. Is that at a run, boy? That's not at a run, boy. That's Bailey. Or it's Mitchell. Mitchell, number 0. Boy, oh boy. I'm sorry about that. And now his shoulder pads are out of his jersey there as he came down kind of strange, and he gets some help from one of the George Ranch players. Chukwu helped Mitchell put his shoulder pads back in. How about that for sportsmanship?
Yes, that is nice.
3rd down and 20
While he
now.
did it, he might have said, "I'm going to burn you on the next play, pal," or something to that effect.
Had a little bit of now we've got a whistle and a timeout. Timeout Vikings.
Dallas.
What are they going to call here? We're going to take one with them. 21-21. We'll be right back.
All right.
Next Level Urgent Care supports Fort Bend County sports and supports you whenever you're hurting. Next Level is here for the community. Open 7 days a week, 9 till 9, for you and your family at more than 30 Greater Houston locations, including Sugarland, Sienna, Greatwood, Longmeadow, and 4 in Katy. From OW to WOW, Next Level Urgent Care has you covered. And if you're short on time, Next Level has an app to get you in line right away. Just text NLUC APP to 313131 for Next Level Urgent Care.
All right, Patrick. Did you order overtime before you came to this game?
I did not, but
we may get it.
We're looking in that kind of direction here with 2:20 to play. Vikings are in a tough situation here, 3rd and 20 from their own 26-yard line. Longhorns looking to get that ball back. Here's Bird. Stepped up in the pocket. Now he's brought down as he makes the pass attempt. And the tackler there was Cummings, Peyton Cummings. I can't believe Bird hung on to the ball.
And, son of the head coach, Kason Bird, was able to avoid the fumble because he wasn't holding the ball low. He was kind of holding up with 2 hands tight, close to his chest if the pass rush got pretty heated, which it did.
He was about ready to make the pass, and as he cocked his arm to throw, he had to bring it back because Cummings had a hold of his shoulders, and he was bringing him down.
Well, maybe if he had fumbled, the tuck rule would have saved him.
Here is the kick now. Coots. That's an end-over-ender. And it's fielded at the 45, and then he slips and falls right at the 45. That's Russell Franklin. He might have had some room there to run, but his feet came out from under him. But nonetheless, it's really good field position for the Longhorns with 1:27 to play, and they have 2 timeouts to work with. They are going into the wind. That could affect any field goal attempt if it should come to that. This game has really turned around in the favor of the Longhorns. Roger, they have 5 turnovers in the game to none for the Vikings, and they still have a chance to win. That's just hard to believe.
They're living right.
You just cannot win games like that too often. Here's a screen pass. Shelton Scott, it got blockers in front of him. 50, 45, 40, still going. Got some room. 30, getting a block downfield, spinning, and he's got a penalty marker down there around the 30-yard line. It might have been an illegal block. Roger, I think you saw the block. You agree with that call, I think. It's a big gain for the Longhorns, but I think some of that gain's coming back.
And the penalty is going to make the difference between being in the red zone with 1:16 to go and probably being at about the 45-yard line of Dulles.
Let's hear the call here.
Following offense number 5, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Russell Franklin doing what he's working hard to get that block, but apparently he had a hold of the defender there. And
Bobby Darnell, head coach of Clements, watching with great interest.
And he
here at Mercer Stadium.
He's happy about his game last night, I'm sure.
Well, that didn't give him as bad a field position as I thought. George Ranch is at the 37 of Dulles.
37, 1st and 10. Drinkard rolls to his right. Now it's a cross counter play. Sheldon has it inside the 20. What a play. It looked like it was going to be a rollout Drinkard, and then he handed it off to Sheldon, who scampered all the way down to close to the 10-yard line. That's about a 27-yard gain, 28-yard gain, 1st and goal.
Timeout, Dulles.
Now Dulles is going to take a timeout.
Team timeout.
And we're going to stay right here. Roger, what are your impressions?
Well, I was just thinking about the implications of a George Ranch win today. I guess more specifically a Dulles loss. If Dulles allows the late score here and George Ranch prevails, it's kind of a negative for the Clements Rangers, who coincidentally their head coach just walked past us.
Why is that a negative? Tell us why.
It's just if you're Clements, you'd rather be the 3rd playoff seed instead of the 4th.
Yes.
That's really the main thing.
And
so
George Ranch beat Clements. Is that what you're saying? Did they played each other yet?
George Ranch
and Clements.
And Clements.
Have they played each other?
I don't think so.
So they must play each other then at some point here, huh?
Well, actually, I'm embarrassed that I'm not certain.
Well, see, I'm the one who asked the question, so I should be embarrassed too. First and goal for the Longhorns. Let's find out what they do here. Handoff. Shelton finding a little bit of room, but then he's wrapped up and brought down. And Hezekiah Smith was in there along with Richard.
Timeout, George Ranch.
George Ranch.
Second charge, team timeout.
George Ranch calls their timeout now. 46 seconds remaining, and it's second down.
All right, so this is great because it gives me a chance to say that now that we know Tompkins is going to make the playoffs out of District 19 6A, that means that the Katy Tigers will be playing in Division 2. Now, don't tell me why you don't like the system. Stop. Just stop.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll just let you talk. Sorry.
All right, so the Katy Tigers will be in Division 2, which means if you are the lower-seeded Division 2 qualifier out of District 26A, then you have to play the Katy Tigers. So Clements wants George Ranch to be stuck there in the 4th seed and have to play the Katy Tigers.
So that's why they're rooting for the Vikings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Vikings really need to do their Rangers friends a favor.
Well, I'm sure they're not thinking of it that way. I think the Vikings are thinking about it as far as trying to get into the playoffs. But right now, the Longhorns are in position. They're already in field position at the 9-yard line. Second and goal, Drinkard under center. He's got Shelton and his brother behind him. It's going to be a fake handoff. Drinkard follows his blocker to the 5, and he puts it to the center of the field, maybe as a positioning for a possible field goal. 36 seconds. Clock continues to run. Seems like you would maybe call a timeout if you were the Vikings here.
I would think so.
But
in fact, somebody just has.
I think they may have. The whistle blows, and what do we got? Timeout Vikings. They let about 10 seconds go off the clock, though.
Let's keep it right here, Patrick. I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, it'll be
Timeout, Dallas.
Third and goal from the 6.
Third and final team timeout.
Now, here's the question. If you're the Longhorns, are you going diligently for the touchdown, or are you just satisfied with where it is? And if you get a touchdown, fine. If not, you're good with the field goal attempt.
Well, I presume that they're pretty confident with Michelle kicking.
So probably run it up the middle here, and if
they'll try to score, but they're not going to do anything that risks a turnover. I'm sure they won't throw the football. They'll just run it, and if they don't get it into the end zone, they'll kick it.
Well, and they'll also they got that one timeout, so they can control the clock and let the clock wind down, and perhaps let that be the last play of the game. You got Cody Ford in as a lead blocker for Shelton, who's in the I formation. Drinkard takes the snap, hands it off to Shelton. He's going to get to the 1 or about the 2, and he's stacked up, and he's not going to get in. But this sets up the play that Roger had mentioned. They're going to probably let the clock wind down and call timeout and set up possibly the winning field goal. Clock winds under 10 seconds. We're waiting for that timeout. They're going to call it right now. It's a 6-second mark. And that'll bring up David,
Timeout, George Ranch.
Michelle, or Michael.
Third and final team timeout of the half.
Okay.
So
Clements.
Game-winning field goal attempt.
Clements lost at George Ranch, and it was way back on September 8th, and that's why I didn't remember it, because there are 9 teams in District 26A. Therefore, you play 8 district games, so it was so long ago. So that's before Clements really got their act together.
So Clements is possibly sitting in the 4 spot here.
Yes, and even if Clements and George Ranch finish the season with identical records, George Ranch, based on their head-to-head victory, would get the higher seeding.
And
so
who's number 2 right now again? Who's number 2?
Well,
in the district,
it's like this. It is Ridgepoint, Hightower.
Hightower, yeah.
George Ranch.
So Hightower is
Clements.
locked into second, probably right now, eh? And Hightower looked good last week when we saw him. Here's what's going to be about a
left hash 20-yard field goal.
And I'm going to go with Michael here. The PA man has Michael as the name. Number 7, left footer for the win. Although there might be a little bit of time left on the clock if he makes it through. Here's the snap. A little high, brought down, kick up. It's good. What a great job by the holder. Oh, my goodness. You see who the holder is down there, Roger?
They're hugging him.
What a play. That's not Jones, is it? The holder?
I
or was
think
it 11?
It's Russell Franklin.
Please put 3 seconds on the
Whoever
clock.
held
3
it
seconds.
did an outstanding job because it was a high snap. He had to extend fully to get it.
Yeah,
and
he had to come out of his crouch
and then he
almost stand up.
Yeah, and he brought it back down in time for Michael to kick it on through. The kick was no doubter, but just getting it down was the doubt part. And the Longhorns apparently have come back with 17 unanswered points here in the second half to look like they're going to win by 3 over the Dulles Vikings.
Well, it's going to take not a minor miracle, but a major one if Dulles can find a way to get a touchdown on this kickoff return. The scoreboard says 3 seconds, so they've either got to call a fair catch and then throw a pass, or they might try one of those home run throwback things like the Tennessee Titans pulled off on the Buffalo Bills back in 1999.
Or just continuous laterals until they
until something crazy happens.
Yeah,
and by the way, if it does, you're going to be a YouTube sensation. So if you get one of those calls, people will be hearing you all over the country.
Sure. And then
I mean, seriously, if that's what happens here, you'll be the man.
And that little video will start with you telling me this, like that, this is what's going to happen.
It just might.
Here's
And one of the Darnell twins may edit it. They do that and do it very well.
Here's the kick now. Probably would be a squibber, but let's see. 3 seconds to play, and the Longhorns have the three-point lead. It's going to be kicked off down to center. It's received by Mitchell, and apparently a fair catch.
Yeah, he did call a fair catch. And so
what are we going to see on this last play, Roger?
You're going to see a pass and as many laterals as the Vikings can toss. And they'll just try to keep the play alive until George Ranch leaves an area open and someone escapes.
It's a desperation play for the Vikings. And it's a shame because the Vikings played a pretty good game. The Longhorns did pretty much have control of the second half.
The Longhorn defense just shut down Dulles. They could not sustain a drive.
And the drive that they did have ended with ended on downs. 3 receivers to the right. Bird is going to try to pull a miracle out here for the Vikings. Back to pass as expected. He's going to just hoist it up there. Down it goes. Adirondboy had it tipped out of his hand, and the ball tipped out of bounds, so there was no chance for the deflection. Congratulations to the Longhorns. They came through when they had to. They played about like what you had said, Roger. A little schizophrenic. Not real strong in the first half, but pretty darn strong in the second half with the win now.
Okay, so 24-21, George Ranch wins it, so they improve to 5-3 in their district games, and they are off next week, and then they will play Elkins to close the season. I think there's no way in the world that they won't win that game, and I think I'm a little bit off on the record, but they do have 2 district losses, actually. Sorry about that. They have 2 district losses, so they are now 5-2 in their district games, and they have 1 more, which will be against Elkins. And
does this pretty much ends it for the Vikings then, right? They're
I think this is their 4th district 26A loss, so I don't think even mathematically they would have a chance to pull it off.
The Vikings played valiantly. They played tough. I really enjoy watching the Vikings. They have a lot of really good players, a lot of tenacity. Just come up a little short today. The final score 24-21. Longhorns win. Roger will be back tonight for the nightcap. And do you have anything else to say about
Well, I was just going to say, there were times when, of course, I'm no longer the least bit interested in something that I'm telling you about, which is Texans football. They're still doing it as far as I know. They get big leads and they stop scoring. And at halftime, Dulles had 21 points, and here we are at the end of 4 quarters, and they were unable to add to the lead, and unfortunately they walk out of the stadium a loser today, despite playing very well against George Ranch. Denny Green, the now late Denny Green, and the former Cardinals coach said, "We let them off the hook." You remember when he said that?
Well, it's also
they were who we thought they were speech.
Well, it wasn't.
And then at the end of that, he banged his hand on a podium and said, "And we let him off the hook."
Well, wasn't he a Viking coach too?
A Viking coach first, and then later a Cardinals coach.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say goodbye and have a great weekend for everybody, and thank you, Roger, for letting me be part of your broadcast again. I always enjoy it.
And we'll figure out what we're going to do on Thursday and Friday. And want everybody to tune in to Tuesday Night Volleyball, even though it's on KPRC, streaming on Vype instead of the usual VypeFortBend.com.
It's going to be a great match.
Well, for Skylar Gillespie, the producer extraordinaire inside the mothership back there at Vype World Headquarters, Patrick Kinnick, Merle Bertrand, Suna Venkat, and the entire team at VypeFortBend.com, thank you for listening. George Ranch gets the victory today, 24-21, to improve to 5-2 in their district games, and they very solidly are in control, where if they win that final game against Elkins, they are into the playoffs, and there's no two ways about it. So good night for now. Good day, I guess. I'm sorry, but good day sounds kind of confrontational. Anyway, a good afternoon for now, and we'll talk to you at 5:40 p.m. for the Equitable Advisors countdown to kickoff prior to the game between Ridgepoint and Austin. You've been listening to VypeFortBend.com.